wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Good morning, YouTube. I hope you guys are rocking out your Monday this morning. I hope everybody is doing amazing. Just, working around here. That's about it. So I've been just getting it. We got a lot of stuff to cover today, literally a lot. And then I'm going to open the phone lines up for each of you guys to call in, talk about stuff. And, this will be a good opportunity. If you guys would like to talk about other cases, that are out there, or something that's kind of hitting home and is close to your home that you need to look into, let's brainstorm about that today. Let's do that. Again, like I said, at the prayer vigil, we have an amazing Summer's Army that can do so much good and great work. And, I'm trying to think of how best to honor Summer and, what we can do in honor of her. So she's not in vain, right? Whatever she's going through, wherever she went, whatever happened, it's not in vain. So I've got a couple of things that I'd like to go over with you guys this morning. We are going to go over that press conference and kind of dissect it a little bit this morning. We're going to go over a couple other cases, and that's including updates on Harmony Montgomery, Cody Bigsby, remember him, still not found, and father's still in jail. There's not a whole lot coming out about him. And I'm very concerned about that particular case, and actually considering making a trip to cover it, so we can get some more information, because clearly we're not getting it from, the media outlets, and people aren't following up with it. So we're not getting a whole lot. And there's a lot of people out here that care about that little boy. And so I'm kind of teetering back and forth with, where to go from here and what cases to cover. Summer is always going to guide us. And she is, there's not a whole lot going on with Summer Wells' case, other than going back and getting some new interviews with people and shedding some light on the deterioration of the script. And, again, shout out to JLR. That was, I did finally get a chance to watch that clip. And, I would have liked to dive in, but, when you have an opportunity like that, you don't want to push. You don't want to push. You want to keep that door open. So the next time you go there, you can get maybe a little bit more information. So I'm interested in finding out if JLR plans on making another trip there, and maybe interviewing those, the people at the horse stables a little more in depth, about what they saw that day. I'd like to hear some more. But if that never comes, again, what they did is they confirmed that she was alive on the 15th. And that to me is huge, because as we go through this, with all the lies from the parents, we're not even talking about the misinformation that goes around with some of these YouTube creators and things of that nature. We're actually talking about, just the timeline. And that just really rocked the boat on the timeline. It really did. But it was very good, because we do know that Summer was alive on the 15th. So then, we have to go back because we were all having a conversation because of all the lies that we didn't believe, there was a possibility, and it was possible that something could have happened to Summer the day before or even the day before that. And it spun into this, but we did have eyewitnesses place eyes on Summer Wells on June 15th. So that is huge. That's breaking news. We do have confirmed, finally, corroborated, not confirmed. Well, I guess corroboration is confirming, but we finally corroborated the fact that she was alive. A lot of people, in a lot of people's mind, even me, I was doubting, we had so much information directing us saying that, Summer was alive that day. But then when you look back where the sources were coming from and everything like that, you kind of doubted what you were hearing. You doubted a lot. And then you started thinking, well, maybe she was gone before that, because we were looking at the West case and how, bombshell information it was to find out that the two West boys were gone months before they were called in missing. So lots of great information we're going to dive into. And then like I said, I'm going to open the phone lines up and just let you guys, ask questions or make statements or do whatever you guys would like to do. So we're just going to get started. Good morning, Northern Light. First in here to say good morning. It's nice to see you this morning. Karen Davis, I am Team Summer. Guys, don't forget, as you come in, please give me that thumbs up button. We work very hard here. We are constantly trying to find information that's relevant to each and every one of you that you guys would like to hear about. And don't forget to give the thumbs up. It's free to say thank you to me. So Anissa, nice to see you this morning, love bug. She wrote me last night and was like, I'm off today. Make your live extra long. And I'm like, I'm laying in bed and I'm trying to think, okay, this is great. How am I going to make this extra long? This is going to take a little more effort, right? Don't worry. We got you covered, babe. We got you covered. I don't know how long this live is going to last for today. It's going to depend on each one of you, right? So depending on how active you guys are in the chat and calling in and, what you're thinking about the information, because we're covering multiple cases in this session. So why is Summer Wells' face on my thumbnail if we're going to be covering Cody Bigsby? Why is his face not on there? Why is Harmony Montgomery's face not on there? It is because it is a point to make. Simple as that. It's a point to make. Nobody's going to control what I do here on my channel. Simple as that. Simple as that. So take that for what you will. Cool Gamer, nice to see you. Chadwell, Gigi for life. Stephanie, it's nice to see you. I hope everything is going well with you. Graham, nice to see you. Nana Southern Crafts, wonderful to see you. I wonder if you had a chance to research that video game. I have not, but as a matter of fact, I got it right here. I was supposed to. But we are running. I got to tell you guys, I've got the Dell set up, but I think I'm going to work as hard as I can to run everything from this MacBook Pro. I'm still having some difficulty, but I'm much more comfortable with it than I was just a few short months ago. And so I'm really trying to just run everything from one computer, because it sucks to have to constantly turn around and stuff like that. But I know I need this because my external hard drive is actually attached to this, and I've got to buy a new one to start using for the MacBook Pro. Otherwise, I have to format the hard drive, and it'll erase everything on there, and I would have a heart attack, like literally have a heart attack. There's like 3 terabytes of memory on that hard drive. That's a lot of stuff. I don't know how to explain it other than that. A lot of stuff. So let's see. Thunder 420. It's nice to see you. If it's run down of different stories, then why only one picture? I knew somebody was going to ask the question, so I think I've already answered it because I choose to. It's my choice. Bullhorn Betty's choice to decide what she puts on her own thumbnail. Mind blowing. Flippin' mind blowing, right? that I get to choose what's ran and posted on my own channel. Pretty simple, huh? Breathless 807. Love it. Some people complain about everything. That is so true. It is so true. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Kathleen Carter Cohen. Good morning. It's nice to see you. Time for changes. I love it. You are so right. It is. Everybody could use some change in their life. Your life's not going the way you want. Guess what? You are the only person in control of yourself. You can't control anybody else. You can't control the world. You can't control what's going to happen in 5 minutes from now, whether you're going to get a run in your pantyhose or you're going to break your shoelace. You have no control over that, right? The only person you have control over, the only thing you have control over in this entire world and in this entire universe is yourself. That's it. That's it. Time for changes. It's great. Sonia, nice to see you. It just popped up on me. So just give me a second to go back. And then we already got Uncle Eddie in the chat. Uncle Eddie, everybody say hi to Uncle Eddie. He's out there in his robe, putting the poop chute in the rain gutter where it doesn't belong, as always, right? As always. So Sonia, it's nice to see you. Guys, Sonia was another person that was out there sweating her rear end off, helping set up. And I didn't know how to use her projector, but she donated it for the use so we could run that video, and we were unable to. But she's still a rock star. I never gave her one shout out. And I was laying in bed last night, and I don't know what I think it was because I was finally getting to watch the vigil videos last night. I didn't really have a chance. I mean, everything I've been watching has just been kind of choppy. I saw a little piece here and a little piece there, but I actually sat down and went through Justice for All as well as Dolly Vision's videos of the vigil. And there you are. And I'm like, I forgot to say thank you to Sonia. Sonia I got to tell you guys about this lady. She is just a beautiful soul. Even when we were down there in January, up there, I keep saying down there, I'm in Florida. I'm probably the lowest you can go, right? So up there in Tennessee. And she came and made us, it was freezing cold. And she got nice long sleeves and made us our heels on the ground shirts. They were beautiful. She did that and came and hung out with us. She froze her butt off with us in front of TBI when we were letting them know that we want justice for Summer Wells back in January. And she was out there again. She has fractured knee. She fell. And here she is out there doing everything she can to, in a brace, a leg brace and everything that she can possibly do. She's out there helping us. She's running around like we are. And none of us have knee braces on and you know, we're not injured. And she's out there working her tail end off. She's just a beautiful soul. Big shout out to Sonia. Thank you for all your love and support. Thank you for being out there with us. It was so great to see you. I love the fact that I got to see you again in person. And as always, I just thank you. Thank you for everything. So let's see. Vicki Hess, nice to see you this morning. What does it say here? I don't drink coffee. I know what I see lately with all the YouTube people, not only BHB, but many others are doing the same thing. Then why do you watch? For you to be in this chat, you just had to go watch a commercial, which means you support this channel financially. I just want to let you know that. It would be my suggestion, Thunder 420. If you don't like it, don't watch it. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you, but I'm laughing at you. Like, why would you spend your time watching something you can't stand? I mean, even Blank Screen comes in here to get some love and get some attention. That's the only reason why he comes in here. It's not like he thinks I'm a bad person. He just does it because he wants attention. And I give it to him. You know? So if you don't like it, I mean, the best remedy when you don't like something is just don't watch it. Don't support it, right? Normal people just move on. You know, it's people that have problems that want to force their will on others. That is the problem in this country, right? Just mind your own damn business. Move on. Simple. Simple. We don't advocate for going in and trolling somebody's live. We don't advocate for that. We don't send people over to other channels to do that. People do that to this channel. And it's starting to become, it's really starting to become Bullhorn Betty derangement syndrome. It really is. Just move on. Take a deep breath. Go take a chill pill. You don't want to watch it, don't, right? It's not like I'm sitting over here hurting for viewership. So if you don't want to view, it's not breaking my heart, babe. It's breaking my heart that you're actually putting yourself through misery because you can't stand me and you're sitting here watching me. Like, that has to be pretty miserable, right? Just saying. Yeah, I'm going to pull it up, Southern Craft. I'm going to pull it up. Actually, let me type it in the URL right now so we can discuss it. So this is hide and seek. Hello, neighbor. It's hello, neighbor, hide and seek. I think it was backwards, but we will go over that. Thank you. Thank you. It is popped up, so it is something that we will go over. Good morning, Angie Don. Ace O, nice to see you. My Little Corner, good morning. Miss Robin, Pebbles, nice to see you. Blank screen. Uncle Eddie, you know what? You have a special place in our heart. You know, you're like the guy that always needs that, right? You don't mind buying lobster for me, right? Right? Not a problem, Uncle Eddie. I'll give you some money, Uncle Eddie. Let's take the RV and dispose of the septic the proper way instead of through the rain gutter, Uncle Eddie. I almost think that's guys, just a quick, is that like borderline compliment? That's a borderline compliment. I think blank screen actually is complimented Bullhorn Betty. Oh my gosh. Did Uncle Eddie give Bullhorn Betty a compliment? Okay, sepsis kills Emma. It's nice to see you. Nice to see you. Cindy S, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Patricia, good morning, love bug. Emily, good morning. Who else do we have in here? Don't want to. DW, nice to see you. Some of this stuff rhymes. I love it. I love it. Yes, Robin, I've been saying Anissa's name right since I talked to her. That is correct. But I didn't listen. You know what? I didn't butcher her. Her and I were laughing about this. You know, I may have butchered her name slightly from Anissa to Anissa. I mean, that's not too bad. But some of the other people won't say any names. Dolly, with amnesia, really butchered her name. So I slightly cut her name up. He butchers it. Good morning, Amber. Karen Davis. I'm not sure if I said hi to you or not. Oh, geez. I'm just going to call you Jackie because Giraffe Jack? Did I say that right? Oh, you guys are killing me over here. Stephanie, good morning. Good morning, Kiki. Hope everything is doing well. Daniela, good morning. Good morning. S-Mac. Nice to see you. Yeah, I know it has been a year. It's sad. It's just sad. I mean, with these cases, even like the Harmony Montgomery, the Cody Bigsby, it's all sad. I wish parents just would stop. You know, there's nothing forcing these parents, like with all the laws now of taking your young children to the hospital or to the fire department or things like that. And I realize you don't know what's going to happen in the near future, but if you know you have a problem and you can't afford your children, why not? Why let it get to this point? That's all I'm saying. Why let it get to this point where your children disappear or something happens at your hands? Why let it get to that point? There are so many resources out there so it doesn't get to these points, and it keeps consistently multiple times a year, many hundreds of times a year across this country. This is happening. And we only cover just a small fraction of the case, just a small fraction of the case. So, and Uncle Eddie, just to let you know, I've always covered more cases than just Summer Wells. You've been on here enough, up my craw enough to know that Summer Wells is far from the only case I cover. A lot of people want information about it. It's the one that I've covered the most extensively by personally being present. You got to think I've been down in Tennessee multiple times covering this case and getting interviews from people with firsthand knowledge so I can accurately have my opinions, just to let you know. Crime Bee, nice to see you in here. Lucia, time for changes. I already said hi to you. Sharon, nice to see you in here. Let me see who else I got. Hopefully won't. Aaron, nice to see you. Diamonds Creation. I love it. That's nice. I love that name. Thank you. Mia May. Good morning. Yes, refreshed. I'm definitely refreshed. Yeah. Guys, you guys better be careful. And this is on a roll today. Like, she's off work. She's not even going to be distracted. She's going to be whacking a mole. Troll. Whacking a troll up in here. Let's not make it a troll fest, guys. Let's have a good time and happy. And for those people that are watching the replay, that are going to be watching the replay on this, if you guys didn't get a notification, go back there and check your bell. Make sure your bell is set for all. Sometimes it triggers out and doesn't. It's clear on the inside. You want it to be a solid gray or solid black color. That tells you that you're going to get notifications for all. If that doesn't work, getting you the notifications, unsubscribe and resubscribe. It will not, if you're a member, it will not affect your membership. If you are wrenched, it will not affect your wrench. So be sure to go out there and make sure that you're getting the notifications. And don't forget to thumbs up this this channel. It's very important that we keep this stuff going. Crimes have consequences. Oh, please don't tell me that. That was from yesterday, right? This is not happening right now. Please tell me this is not happening right now. We're going to talk about that too. And I've got, oh, shit. But he's walking. I mean, he's not, I mean, yesterday he was different. I can't just stop what I'm doing and run over here and look at him. I mean, he got hydrated yesterday. He was in the hospital. We'll talk about that. Let me finish getting into all this stuff, and then we'll talk about it. Rose Petal, nice to see you. Burlington Park from Johnson City, Tennessee. Oh, thank you for being here. We love it. We love it. Indiana Nana, love that. Crimes, yeah. He left the hospital yesterday against medical advice. Lord have mercy. Someone I know works there. He left on his own a couple hours later after he was there. Well, maybe he might have been freaking out about his wallet. Like, he didn't have his wallet and stuff like that, you know. HS Vlog Channel, Place Time Live. Nice to see you. So, yeah, let's talk about Ernie a little bit. You know, Ernie, a lot of people don't realize he's got some severe PTSD, and it's not my place to talk about other medical issues. It's up for him to tell his audience about those things or not. But I can tell you I was highly concerned yesterday for his safety, especially with him, with some of the stuff he was saying. It was just very concerning for me. Many of you guys know I like Ernie. I do like Ernie. There was, a few times that he's kind of, I'm not interested in his junk. Not interested in knowing what I'm not interested in all that. Okay. I'm not going to even go into any more things. But there was one time when I walked into a chat room and they were talking about some things that my ears just did not need to hear. It was like entirely TMI, too much information. So I kindly exited. I really haven't gone into his channel very much. I got a notification that people were very, very concerned. A lot of people reached out to me and said they were very concerned about Ernie yesterday. And so I went on and just viewed him. I was just watching him, watching his mannerism, just watching what was going on with him. Nobody even knew I was in the chat at this moment. And so I'm just watching his, what's going on. So I can, I'm not by any means a doctor or anything, but I have seen a lot, especially in some of the programs that I was associated with, in my younger years, in my 20s. And so I was just sitting back and watching him, and I realized that he is having, a medical issue. And I'm not going to go into what type of medical issue. Yes, I see that, Stormy. I see that. But he was having a medical issue. And it dawned on me, these people that are out there that are picking on this man, they're picking on a disabled man. And there is no respect in that. There's none whatsoever. There was over 1,000 people watching this man have a, breakdown on his channel. Now, while I don't advocate for people going live when they're having a breakdown, he was scared. He was scared to get off his phone. He was scared if he, turned his live off, something bad would happen to him. So I kind of understood why he went live. And, we were all there just trying to find out where he was, people that cared for him. Let me just rephrase that, because there was over 1,000 people there, and I guarantee not all of them cared whether he lived or died. Some people were actually watching, hoping he got hurt, more so than he already is. And I just want to say, I think that's despicable as a creator, as a human being, just as a normal human being. I think that's despicable. Many people have been telling me over these times that he is on, drugs or narcotics or things of that nature. And, people have assured me, many people that have been following him for a really long time have assured me that he doesn't even drink, that that's not what we're looking at here. And so I removed that out of my brain as to why he would be acting like this. And, a revelation kind of came in. I threw that out there in the chat, and many people said yes, that he has said that in the past. So I kind of understand it a little bit better. I kind of understand him a little bit better. And, I think it's wrong for what people have done to him and are continuing to do to him. And I will, I don't like turning this channel into a drama channel or, arguing or fighting with other creators. I really don't. When you do wrong, you do make a debut on this channel, right? It's not, but I don't beat it over the head, and I don't, I say my piece and move on. And this is one that I just feel really bad about. And I'm asking the creators, whether you like me or hate me, I don't really care whether you like Ernie or hate Ernie. Obviously something's going on. And I'm asking you as a human being, not a creator, take the creator hat off, take the jerk hat off, and just find the humanity in yourself and leave the man alone. Seriously, let him do his thing. Why is what he's doing on his channel affecting you so bad? Why? I don't understand it. Why can't you just leave that man alone? And I think people just need, if YouTube is what he has, it's what he has. Who cares? Move on. There is no need to put that man through more than he has been put through. He has been put through the ringers, guy. Okay? So let me just ask you, find the humanity within. If you are humane, there's a lot of people out here that are jackasses. And we went out and saw jackasses, didn't we? I just want you to leave the man alone. I think there's a lot of creators out there that want, just let Ernie be Ernie. Let him do his thing. If people watch him, what does it matter to you? What does it matter to you what he says on his channel? Why are you that invested in a man that you are trying to destroy? Why don't you just turn the other cheek? Be the other person. Be the bigger person. If people are egging you on to keep screwing with him, be the bigger person and say, no, he's had enough, right? Even in the boxing ring, you got that referee that says, done, right? Or he goes in there and he splits you guys apart. Right? We're there, folks. Leave the man alone. Just leave the man alone. If his audience likes what he's saying and doing, who are you to disturb that? Who cares? Who cares? You should be thankful that what you're doing to him is not being done to you. It's always easy. It's always easy to be the mean person, right? But believe me, this is one thing I've learned. My dad and my mom both taught me this when I was growing up. There's always somebody bigger and badder than you. There really is. So if you don't like something being done to you, why not just not do it to other people? Turn the channel, right? Just turn the channel. Good morning, Cotton Candy. Nice to see you. Show some compassion. Karen Davis, yes, that's it. Compassion. The man is struggling with something. If all he's got is YouTube, let him have YouTube. What does it matter to you? Leave him alone. Leave him alone. So that's just, I got to tell you, I was in that chat. I was shaking. I was crying for him. I didn't know what was going on. I was scared he was going to get hit by a car. I didn't know what was going on. And the last thing I wanted to see was this man. You guys are this man. Some people will say, oh, well, he just needs to get off YouTube. Who the hell are you to tell him to get off YouTube? Who are you? Who are you? You have no right to dictate to someone else what they should be doing with themselves, with their body, with their mouth, with their phone, with their feet. Who are you to tell anybody what they should be doing on their own channel? Who are you? If you don't like what he's doing, go build your own channel and do it exactly opposite of him. That's a solution that doesn't cause you to be a bully and a jerk. Have some compassion. Be humane. If what you're doing to somebody is not something you would want done to somebody in your family or a child or a best friend, then don't do it to anybody else's. It's really simple. It's really simple. Oh, thank you. Dark Horse Justice. I appreciate it. Mama Bear at 10. Nice to see you, love bug. Nice to see you. So that's just my 2 cents on Ernie. I hope Ernie gets better. I hope he stays safe. But I don't know what else to do. We can only do what we can do. Yeah, but I mean, there's ways I could make money too. There's just some things that I just don't do. Right? I just don't do. And whether they think I'm, this whole summer. Bottom line is I cover true crime. Summer Wells is one of the biggest true crime stories on YouTube. Naturally, she's going to get a lot of attention. And never mind the fact she has not been found yet, right? Never mind the fact that she's still out there and still needs her face plastered all over the place. But, I digress. Stitchin', bitchin', and true crimes. Love it. I hope you are doing well. Now, let's check. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, thank you, Terry. Thank you. Yeah, and it's frustrating for me that people can be so cruel. It's like we're in a society where even they don't like or probably advocated at one time for against online bullying, right? Or my body, my choice, or a number of things. Yet they are actually going against what they used to advocate for and doing the exact opposite, and trying to control, trying to upset, just trying to trigger. And I think they do it intentionally because they realize that there is something going on with him. And I think that's just a low blow. And that's being a coward, in my opinion. There's no respect in that. There's no respect in that. But some of these people don't care about respect. They care about doing off the wall things to make money. And I just don't support it, and I will not support it. And I'm not going to. It's pitiful. The people that are doing this to Ernie are pitiful. They're pitiful. And guys, I mean, seriously, the ones that are doing it to him, don't pay them any attention. Don't even go into their. I'm not telling you guys what to do, but the only way this stuff stops is when it starts hitting them differently. Instead of them having numbers go up, having numbers go down. That's when this nonsense stops. It really is. It really is. But what's going on with Ernie breaks my heart. Anybody that has grown to care for this man, it's got to be breaking their heart, because we don't like seeing him like that. I don't know what's going on in his life. I don't. I wish I could help. I've offered help. It's out there. If at whatever point in time he decides to accept it, I will fight 110% for him. But, the first step comes with asking for the help, right? Nobody can force it upon anybody. And all we can do is sit here and be a support system for him. And when he's knocked down, we help him up. That's what we do. That's what people with a little humanity in their hearts do for others, and especially for friends. I consider Ernie a friend. We're not close friends. We're probably more on the lines of associates or acquaintances, but I never want anything bad for him. And I care that, whether he lives or dies. And that's the bottom line. I care. And if nobody's told him that they love him today, Bullhorn Betty loves Ernie Show. So he at least has one person that loves him. But I can tell you, in that chat room, he's got a lot of people that love him. He's got a lot of people that care for him. There were a lot of people that didn't, that were just watching just to get a laugh, which was just, I don't even want to tell you as a human being how that made me feel. It was despicable. It was despicable. And shame on the people that were there for the wrong reasons. There were a lot of great people in that chat room trying to find him, trying to go back into the video, trying to point law enforcement in the right direction. There were many people that just wanted to let him aimlessly walk in that heat until he freaking had a heat stroke. I'm sorry that I'm not one of those people. Even if Ernie was my worst enemy, I'm not one of those people, and will never be. I'll be damned. Hell will freeze over before I'm that heartless. So, which brings me to The Language of Letting Go. Everybody knows I love this book by Melody Beattie. We've been kind of incorporating it a little more into this channel because I feel, it really does help us. It helps somebody out there. And if it only helps one person, and that only one person could just be me, right? But if it helps me or helps somebody out there, deal with something, or maybe something just resonates with them, then that's the purpose of it. And it doesn't take too long to get through on this channel. So this one is for June 20th. It's relax and face the truth, right? Sometimes we have to face things we'd rather not see. That person we've been dating just isn't someone who is good for us. Our spouse isn't just a social drinker. He or she has a serious problem with alcohol. Our child isn't being a cute little child anymore, making up silly stories that a child is lying and stealing from us. Sometimes these moments of truth are big bombs in our lives. Other times we run from those small moments of truth. We've done something that hurt someone. No matter how defensive or innocent we pretend to be, we need to face up to that. Maybe our children have grown up and left home, and we've been running from the truth, pretending that we still need to center our lives around them. Or maybe the truth is we are feeling angry, abandoned, or hurt. We all have moments of truth in our lives. I was talking to a friend the other day, and he had been complaining that his air purifier didn't work. I was going to the repair shop, so I offered to take the machine in to get it fixed. It's plugged in, he said. I've got it turned on, and I can't afford to be without it. You've got it turned on, but it's not working, right? I asked, you're without it now? Relax. Let your illusions go. Turn and face whatever you've run from. Not facing the truth doesn't make the truth go away, no matter how much we hope it will. If you've been running from the truth in some areas of your life, gently begin to face what you've preferred to avoid. The power is in the truth. God, help me let go of my illusions. Help me understand the power that comes when I take the time to see clearly and have my moments of truth. I love that. Again, just a beautiful book for many of you. Again, this is The Language of Letting Go by Melody Beattie. It's helped me overcome a lot. I read that. I've read this book for 15 years, not religiously, but many of you guys know this book laid in bed with me for the first 2 years of my sobriety. And, it was a struggle. I struggled. And so I love this book. And what a great message it had today. What a great message it had today. So good morning. We've got a lot of stuff going on here. And, I just want to give a shout out for Ernie. Everybody, please pray for him. Broken crayons still work. I love that crayon, man. Thank you. You are absolutely right. So let's just give Ernie a big shout out from Bullhorn Betty, the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Clubbers. Let's just put a little prayer hands in the chat for Ernie, if you guys wouldn't mind. Yes. Good morning, Lolo. Yes, yes, yes. Prayer hands in the chat for Ernie Shell today. Let's read what this says. I totally ostrich myself in the sand 35 years ago. My husband was cheating and my young daughter was on drugs and crime. Daddy was dying, working 2 jobs. God came to me. Yeah, when it was hard. Yep. Like many stories. Let me tell you, whatever jokester thinks they're funny, I don't appreciate it. I really don't. I'm not going to block you. I'll let you change your name, but don't come in here with that name. That's not the way to win me over this morning, and I will block you. And then you have to wait 5 more hours to get on. Actually, what's today? Monday? I think he's working anyways. Like, really? All right. So good morning, everybody. Thank you for the loving prayers for Ernie. I hope Ernie, if he watches this channel, he sees that there are a lot of people in here that love and support. He's doing good. Okay, great. Love to hear that. So for those folks, it looks like Ernie's doing much better today. I'm very thankful for that. We just don't want anything happening, Even blank screen, Uncle Eddie. We don't want anything happening to him either, right? If it was Uncle Eddie walking down that road, I'd probably still be trying to find and get help for Uncle Eddie, Just some medical issues. He's got some medical things going on. And every now and again, those medical things flare up and, we have a situation that we had yesterday. So we don't want to, again, it's not my place. It's not my business. And, but he just I hope he does. I hope he does better. That's all we can say and all we can do for him. Do you know of all the missing children are more found alive or not? To be honest with you, it depends on the statistics that you're reviewing. For example, let me explain why it's so difficult to answer this question. Because if I recall correctly, we have it's a ridiculously high number of missing children that disappear all over the United States. A ridiculous, like, I want to say 50 or 60,000 a year, maybe more, maybe less. I can't remember off the top of my head. Don't hold me on the numbers, folks, but it's a significant amount of people that go missing. But a lot of those are runaway teenagers and, just, from bad families that are getting away and stuff like that, that are older and can take care of themselves. There is a statistics that I think do age groups. I don't have that. I'll have to look for that so I can answer that question a little better. What I can tell you is that 400, according to a 2019 study, 450 children a year die at the hands of their parents. 450 children a year die at the hands of their parents. The stranger danger abduction is rare. It happens. We hear about it happening, but believe it or not, it's rare. Okay, it's rare. So of the children that are missing, a lot of them are found, but there are over 4,000 people that go missing that are never found, period, dead or alive, throughout the United States. So it's kind of hard for me to say are there more found alive or not. It depends on the circumstances. When there's an abduction of a child, they're usually killed within the first 3 hours of being abducted. That's why it is so important that we, when missing persons happen, they're found immediately. And that's what law enforcement tries to do. And it gets very grave after 72 hours. That means the percentages of recovering or bringing that child back safely drop dramatically, significantly. It's significant. I don't want to put numbers out there because then somebody's going to say, oh, she was wrong about this. She doesn't know what she's talking about, this, that, and the other. I don't have the facts and figures right in front of my face. So all I can say is that it's a significant drop. The first 3 hours are the most important in an abduction. The 72 hours is kind of the marker when things go from bad to really, really, really bad. And the numbers really are not in the favor of that child at all. And as we're seeing, it's been over a year since anybody has seen baby Summer Wells, which puts her in that very, very, very low percentile of being able to make it back and make it back safe. So, yeah. I've tried calling him a few times. I did have an opportunity to speak with Dolly Vision, and he said that Ernie did call him last night from the hospital and said he was doing good or well. I tried calling him multiple times. He never tried calling me back, so I don't know. I'll try to reach out to him today when I see him off live and just pray with him. That's what I'd really like to do. I'd like to pray with him and just, pray for whatever he's going through, be lifted. And, I'm hoping that things, yeah, I know Ernie's out walking again, but everybody said that, even though he's out walking right now, that he is, doing better. He's not in the situation that he was in. Like, he was majorly dehydrated. He was very, in my opinion, he appeared to be disoriented. He knew where he was going, but There were just some things that he said that were just a little concerning. So, and he was walking in all that, like just sweat pouring down his face. He was in that hot Georgia heat, just walking, no water, and he had been walking for, I was on there trying to find out what his location was, and I was there for over an hour, and he was out there in that heat, didn't take one sip of water. Very concerned for him, because there's a lot of ailments. Even if it wasn't the vehicles, him walking in front of the vehicle, it could have very well been him having a heat stroke. That's pretty big. So, yeah, let me write that down. Let me write this. We'll pull that up. Why not? I've got it written down. I've got her name written down. Now, we don't know what the reason for her disappearance is. I can tell you, I've known some pretty bad dudes. I can only go from the experience I have. I known some pretty bad dudes. And the last thing they would do, and let me tell you this, there is nothing more than to bring down an organization than snatching children. Okay. So these big organizations, these drug cartels and drug organizations out there, I don't see them getting involved in snatching children for debt. I just don't. That is probably the easiest way to get your organization brought to its knees. I don't see it. Breaking somebody's legs, beating them up, telling them that you need that money, going up there, taking something of value, monetary value, children you don't want to be caught with a kid. It just doesn't. I don't know. But I'm just, like I said, I just don't see it. Are there some pretty bad, would somebody, I would expect something like that to happen, say, in Chicago, not the backwoods of Rogersville, Tennessee. I don't know how to answer that. It's possible, but I'm not sure if I'm quite there to venture over to probable on that. I really am not. I'm not quite there yet. We don't know, but the more and more we're peeling this back, there's a lot of things that are going into this. So one thing that I find interesting is that the timeline's not accurate. And even if, now let's play hypothetical here. Graham. So even if this is just my opinion, maybe you agree, maybe you don't agree. We'll chat about that. But in my opinion, if somebody had done this abduction, taking the child for a debt, why wouldn't the parents scream to the top of their lungs and say, look, at this point, your child's missing. You've got every bit of law enforcement to protect you, right? You've got the FBI, the TBI, Hawkins County. You've got every bit of law enforcement to protect you from any kind of outside influence and threat, right? So in my opinion, if this was the case where money was owed and somebody came and snatched their child, you would think they would be screaming from the rooftop, we were told by so-and-so, if we didn't pay this money, that they were going to come and take our child. The child's gone. We need help. This person threatened us with that. There was none of that. Even when I talked to Don back in December and had him on that interview, and I got to go back through Don's interview. Maybe I'll start reposting those again for people to hear. But, I asked him, who could have done this? And he was basically saying, I don't know, but somebody did, and I'm thinking, after 6 months, I would assume that you would at least have at this point a name, somebody that you think of that could be responsible for this. And it was nothing. And you at this point, you would think that he would say, I owed money to so many people. I don't know which one took her. We didn't get that. We didn't get that from him. So it just kind of makes you wonder what is truly going on. What is truly going on in, there. And not only that, and I keep coming back to this, and I think it's relevant, and it continues to be relevant, is no matter who took her, if it wasn't Don and Candace, it will never explain their behavior. It will never explain their behavior. Nobody is going to keep their mouth shut if their child was taken by a drug dealer. Nobody's going to keep their mouth shut about that. They would have told law enforcement at this point, just to clear their name, just to stop from going through what they are going through. None of that has come up. He was blaming his coworkers and his neighbors as opposed to anybody else. My lips are still peeling from the sun. Drives me nuts. He's walking frantically in the heat. Now, there's nothing I can do. We did everything we can do. If he's refusing to stay in the hospital, and, again, it comes down to sometimes they have to be willing to ask for help themselves before people can help them. I can't force help down his throat. I want to help him. I want to make sure that he's safe, but there's nothing I can do. We heard from somebody that he left against medical advice. So just to let you guys know. Yeah. I have to believe with that. I have to believe that. Yeah. I have to believe that. Can't stop a train wreck. Witness protection could be a good send to those people. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things. I just don't and it's not that it couldn't happen. I'm not trying to, Graham, just to let you know, it's not that I'm saying that it couldn't happen. It doesn't. The reason why I don't think it did is because it just seems like that they would have been right there saying, this is what was threatened to me. I think they have my child, and it doesn't explain. And not only that, but think about it. If, Don Wells, he has no problem knocking, he's rough, tough. He went out and got $2,000 worth of drugs and was handing it out to all the drug people, supposedly, reportedly, allegedly. While he had cops following him, he was handing it out, trying to find out where his daughter was. Now, if he believed that it was because of a debt, why would he be driving around handing out $2,000 worth of drugs to all these lowlives instead of going directly to the person and saying, I want my kid back. Here's your freaking money. I mean, who knows, right? Who knows at this point? What we do know is that Summer was alive on June 15th. What we do know is that she was in the care of Candace at the time she disappeared. That's what we know. I don't know how I believe their timeline. We've poked holes in their timeline because it didn't make sense. And then we find out the truck was at the water hole a lot longer, not just a little bit longer than we were told, like a lot longer than we were told. Why would somebody lie about how long they were at the water hole swimming for? You would think they would want to fill in that timeline, right? You would think that they would want to fill in that timeline and make it as airtight as possible. Somebody block Vince Vaca. I'm not going to have somebody with my ex-husband's name and putting his private information out here for the world to see. This man does not come on here. He stays to himself. And for somebody to be so disrespectful, to violate the terms of service of privacy of YouTube, does not deserve to be on this channel. So Vince E. Vaca, I don't know who you are, but don't you ever come in this channel again with his name. Ever. That is a form of harassment, and I will be sure, if need be, to file a complaint. I don't want, that's not fair. You don't bring somebody else in here unless you want it done to yourself. Somebody find out what channel that's from too. Before you block, go check the channel out. I want all the information on this person. Vincent E. Vaca. Somebody please go in there and find out whose channel it is. Yeah, it's somebody trolling my ex-husband. That's what it is. My ex-husband has done nothing to anybody. Yeah, it's sick. That's what I'm talking about. And they try to point the finger and make me out to be the bad person, but you guys get to see what I deal with on a daily basis in here. No, I don't even go to these people's channels. I don't go picking on people. I don't go in their channels if I don't like them. I don't go watching them. Yeah, Tammy, that's my ex-husband's name. And my ex-husband does not get on the computer. Man barely he plays games on the computer. He doesn't know how, he just doesn't do that. Probably is Uncle Eddie. Get him out of here. Hello, hello, hello. So, yeah, family members are off limits. No, they don't play by those rules, They don't play by those rules. But I've always told my family, if anybody ever calls looking for me, they don't know who the hell I am. So they're wasting their time. They're wasting their time. Um, you know, it's sad that it goes like that, but when you're as popular as Bullhorn Betty, you got to take precautions. Got to take precautions. And don't let them fool you, because I am popular, because they can't keep me out of their mouth, right? I'm so popular that they can't quit talking about me. There's a statute of limitations on lesser charges they could give candidates. Yeah, there is a statute of limitations. But quite frankly, those statutes of limitations have not even come close to running out yet. So, guidance in life with TLC, my new BFF that lives down the street. I love these girls. And you know what's so great about it is it's kind of funny, because I have a funny feeling it's going to be, lasting friendships that were formulated from a baby summer, lasting friendships of great people that are going to do amazing things moving forward. And it's just, great. And we will do a lot of good things for missing people. I truly believe. It's all neutral account. Yeah. I spoke to the troll and hater on my love. That's funny. On your live. I know you meant to say live instead of love. It always autocorrects to love. Good morning, Lenny Bean. Nice to see you. Yeah, I noticed that. There was who was it? It was Jackie Blue that sent me some stuff yesterday, and I actually got one of them up here. We're going to play it kind of closer to the end of this chat, at the end of this segment, rather. And so it's just going to be one of those things. I got to wait until. Okay, so we're still doing good. Did they go back to the water hole after Walgreens? I don't know. That's been alleged too. Remember, I I feel like a broken record in here, because JLR does some good stuff. He works from daylight to dark, but I think he's the one that brought that up too. Did they make a second trip to the water hole? I actually made a thumbnail for it. Remember last week when we were getting prepared for the candlelight vigil, I kept saying, I'm going to get to that. We're going to have a discussion on that. Well, just until now, and when I see your comment, Kathy, I forgot to cover it. I forgot to bring it back for us to cover whether they made it back to the water hole a second time. It is possible. It is possible. Maybe that's why they thought the truck was there for so long. Is maybe, while their heads were turned, maybe they did leave, go to Walgreens, and come back. It is possible. It is possible. What we do know now is that Summer Wells was alive on June 15th, and that truck was out in front of that water hole for an extended period of time. And that defies the script that we've been told for the last year. Not today, but I'm kind of flush, because I have, the sun from being out in the heat. And, before that, we were out looking for Stephanie Shenefield in the Florida heat. So I've got some sun on my face, and my lips are like peeling from the sun and everything else. So and we could show our adorable faces. I don't think Dawn will be getting out. Let's see. Cindy says, I don't think Dawn will be getting out in October, especially with the allegations from Don's sister coming forward about the essay. And not only that, but he acknowledged and admitted to them. Did you guys hear that Chris McDonough phone call where he had Mary on? And it was hard to listen to. It was hard to listen to Don try to explain away what he did to a 5-year-old child when he was 14 years old. Exactly. Exactly. It doesn't make sense. And I've always had a problem with that too. But if we recall, there's a few things that I found odd with that, Mary. I have to be honest with you. A few things that I found odd. So one was that Hunter was adamant that Don called and or that Candace told him that the boys were working with Don. That was something I found odd because I don't know why he would lie about that. So, and it seems like it would have came up in conversation, like, where are the boys? Oh, they're working with their dad, And so it was strange. And then we find out the boys were home when she got home, and Don constantly slips and says, the last time we saw, we got sidetracked and she, whatever, it was we. And then he would constantly have to go back and correct himself because he screwed up the script because he supposedly wasn't there. So it does bring a lot of speculation in. Why were the boys at work with him? Were the boys not at work with him? Were the boys truly home by themselves alone? Why Candace was gone for umpteen hours on end. And mind you, those children being home alone had no phone to use, right? Everybody in the house that had a phone. So if there was an emergency, if the house burnt down, those boys would not have a way to call for help, which again, to me, is putting those children in danger, i.e., that seems like a child welfare violation, a criminal child welfare violation to me from where I sit. I don't know. We've got the penal code for Tennessee related to child welfare and things of that nature, which seems, when I read it, again, I didn't pull the case law on it. I didn't find out what the test would be. There's always a test to make sure that you meet the criteria of the statute. I don't know what the 3 or 4 prong test would be for that, because again, I didn't read the case law, which defines the statute. We only read the statute. And it looks like, based upon the Tennessee statute, the criminal code for child neglect, they've met and have exceeded. But again, I have no proof of that, or no case law related to that. Hey, White Rabbit, nice to see you. Nice to see you. I gotta say, I got to see you on your live with your hair and those little ponies. You're so cute. You're so cute. You're a cute White Rabbit. You're a cute White Rabbit. So, but yeah, I just truly, I truly don't, I don't know whether they made a second trip back to the pond, and I don't know the water hole, and I don't know, what the boys were doing home. Were they truly home because they were supposed to be home, or were they out with their father and their father drove them home? I really don't. I don't know. I don't know. But something's a little, to me, never sat right with me about the boys not going to the water hole as well. It seems like if she was home with all the kids should have went with her. Just my opinion. I don't know too many people that leave their son, which is just a few short years older than your youngest, at home. I mean, I can understand maybe leaving if the older boys didn't want to go, leaving them at home, but to leave I think Summer was 5. What was Waylon? 6? Not 6, but 7 or 8. I mean, still just a few short years younger. You would think that the 2 youngest would go with the mom, and that was not the case in this situation. I don't know why. It would seem, this is what I thought, just my thoughts. If the kids did, or if the boys did go to work with their father, why would they go to work with their father? because he had just fired Dudley the day before. So he still needs to get the job done. And if the boys know how to spackle or mud over, the screw nails, then, and trust me, and you have a house, that's a huge help, because those little screw nails are a pain in the butt. I mean, you just have to swipe and swipe, and they're covered, but it's still a tedious process when it's just when you're by yourself. So to have extra hands, and boys would think it was fun, and you're teaching them a good life lesson, you're teaching them about a business and stuff that they can use the rest of their life, I can't, why am I running blank? A job that they can do the rest of their life. You're teaching them at a young age to be a drywaller. They can always make money. Drywall is a job you can always make money at. I do drywall, and I tell you, especially service work, repair work, when you get holes, and we've had ceilings that have gotten wet from leaky roofs that just cave in, fixing those. That's a lot of money. It's almost more money to repair drywall than it is to put in new drywall, if that makes sense, because a lot more goes into it. But it's a craft that they can always use the rest of their life and make money and stuff like that. So it is one of those things that I just think that if they were at work with him, it may be because of the fact that Dudley was just fired the day before and they needed to get the job done. Possibly, they were home. Don Wells states he was at work. He was at work all day from 7 o'clock in the morning to almost 7 o'clock at night. That's a 12-hour day that he does not usually do. This just happened to be that day that he was at work for 12 hours. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just, there's a lot of holes in the story. There's a lot of holes in the story. And we're never going to know the truth. All we can say, actually, let's take a moment and listen to the press conference again. Let's listen to what was said. Let's break that down real quick, and then we'll move on to some other cases. It's going to be a little minute before they all get together. If you remember, I think oh, no, I guess they got it started right when they. And this was the gentleman right here that I spoke with. This is the gentleman right there. No, was it that one? No, it's not. It wasn't that one. It's this one right here. This is the officer that I spoke with in that video outside of when I was setting up the prayer vigil, and they were showing me what area I could work in. This is the officer that I spoke with. This was the one, that was getting a little teary-eyed about the case. And, they got a lot of heart. These are, these men, this is Cliff Evans right here, the other officer that I speak to. That's Cliff Evans. And then you're going to see John Pruitt come over there as well. So this is what I believe would be the Summer Wells investigative team here. There's John Pruitt coming in right now. So you see there are some heavy hitters, some legitimate, hardworking investigators. These aren't the people that were on the ground. They may have been on the ground searching as well, but these are the people that are behind the scenes trying to put this puzzle, this ridiculous, crazy puzzle together to seek justice for Summer Wells. And Mike, you might be right. Might be good old boys, but I can't imagine these good old boys letting us. Think about the man. They want to protect children, and I can't imagine these good old boys here wanting to let any stone go unturned for a little beautiful blonde hair, blue eyes baby girl that went missing, most likely at the hands of their parents. I think the good old boys will go out the window. Good old boys, in my mind, when I'm thinking of the good old boys, I'm thinking of political type of things. they still do a job. They still are good at their job. So here we got Leslie Earhart. Let's hear what she has to say, and then we'll go back and replay it.
Before we get started, I want to stress that the investigation into the disappearance of Summer Wells is very much active on. Please understand, in order to preserve the integrity of the investigation, we appreciate you being here today and your continued coverage of this case. At approximately 6:30 p.m. on this day, 1 year ago, Summer Wells, who was 5 years old at the time, was reported missing from her home on Ben Hill Road in the Beach Creek community of Hawkins County. When we held the first media briefing on June 16th, honestly, we expected to have good news to report by the time the next media briefing came around. Unfortunately, instead, day after day ended in frustration and disappointment. At that time, no one expected that we would still be searching for Summer 1 year later. We've said from the beginning, this case is outside the norm. There are few clues as to what happened to Summer, despite investigators doing everything within their power to find answers. All possibilities are still being explored. Many of you have asked for details about what's been done over the last year. I can tell you agents and detectives have spent thousands of hours on this case. Numerous search warrants have been executed, cell phone data has been analyzed, and any other available digital evidence has been collected, searched, and documented. This includes the social media accounts of those associated with Summer. 3 large ground searches have taken place in the last year with the assistance of more than 100 local, state, and federal agencies. Those searches do not account for the numerous targeted searches done by agents and detectives as they were following up on potential leads. From TDI alone, more than 100 agents, intelligence analysts, and support staff from across the state have been involved in this case. TDI agents working alongside the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and the FBI have conducted nearly 170 interviews during the investigation. That does not count the hundreds of phone calls made to follow up on tips reported to law enforcement. While investigators have been diligently working to find answers, they've had to deal with thousands of tips generated by false information that in some cases has been intentionally spread across social media platforms. We know that this case has attracted the attention of individuals across the country who genuinely care about Summer and want nothing more but to help us find answers. We appreciate those people. However, we are also aware that there are some people using this case for their own personal gain by spreading false information on social media posted as facts. Some go as far as to solicit donations. This has had a major impact on the investigation and not in a good way. Moving forward, we ask the public not to submit tips as a result of a video they viewed on YouTube or a theory they've seen posted on Facebook. Please help us and only call if you have direct, specific information about the disappearance of Summer. This investigation weighs heavily on us all, and I can promise you that no one wants answers more than we do. We are not going to stop until we find them. I'm going to turn it over to Sheriff Bonnie Lawson.
Good morning. As Leslie mentioned, we didn't expect this case to be going on a year later. It's heartbreaking for me and my officers and the entire community. We've never stopped looking for something. We've continued to do so. There's never been a case in the history of Hawkins County Sheriff's Office that had officers working 365 days and had so many hours spent with that investigation. Although this office is never utilized in many different local, state, and federal agencies across the state. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, Bureau of Investigation assists us in every step of this investigation. As you heard Leslie say, without fires being tested and finding something, thousands of 170 there.
Oh, I'm not sure. Okay, so it looks like it was
Support citizens.
Oh, it's two different sections.
We did the searches with all the law enforcement officers, agencies, the state of Tennessee. It's phenomenal how everybody pitched in and helped us with these searches, this investigation. Many of you have asked why we didn't recruit private citizens to assist in these searches. With extreme dangerous terrain we were experiencing in searches, we were able to monitor each group movement at their location. That way we knew that everybody came back with Rambo safely. After initial searches, and we had to go back and obtain the landowner's permission to search the unit. We did not allow or even grant permission for private individuals on these people's property. All I can promise you is that we'll continue to conduct target searches in the Beach Creek area as new information develops. We'll also continue to follow up on any legitimate leads. It's been the goal of this name since day one to find someone. We've never stopped, we've never slowed down, we do it every day. That's the whole purpose. Is to let you all know, despite what you hear and what you see, we haven't stopped. And then when these agencies that work tireless, hours and hours and hours, and I commend every one of them for the job they've done. We're going to continue until we find something.
Now, as I mentioned, we can't speak to specifics, but we will take questions. A few months ago, you guys said that the parents were not cooperating anymore. Has there been any change in that, especially as Don Wells is incarcerated here in this facility?
We're not going to characterize cooperation at this time. Honestly, doing so does nothing but create more speculation, and it doesn't benefit the investigation. Is there still a reward being offered for making any information or some of stuff?
Well, I can tell you that law enforcement did not coordinate that report, so you would need to reach out to the Churchill Rescue Squad for information in that aspect.
Are the boys still in DCS custody?
That's not something we can speak to.
We do know that last year you guys pushed out some information about the red truck. I know that this is on here, but just so you can talk about it with you guys. Is that still something you're looking for? Do you still want to submit tips, or is that over?
I'm going to call on TBI Special Agent in charge, Derek Newport, just to talk about that.
I'll tell you yes, just to eliminate. We still don't have a good timeline when that was observed. People in frequent areas on a regular basis get dates mixed up. We still want to figure out who, if possible, and if that's even a legitimate lead. Right? So we, as you said earlier, we found a lot of dead leads that didn't produce anything. So that obviously is still something we want to put to bed, but it's not. We still can't pinpoint the date and exact location.
Anybody else? When this first came out, you guys said that Summer was last seen walking away from the holes. That was like one of the initial reports that night. But then things kind of changed the following days. There's any evidence that she walked away from the hole, or any evidence of any kind of abduction, or do we have any evidence of anything of that kind?
We don't have anything specific. And I think what's important to note there is that the sheriff mentioned how many hours we put into this investigation and how much time has been spent exploring every possibility, walk-off, abduction, other foul means. And I think that's the thing to keep in mind is it's still really wide open as to the what. Try to stay away from developing theories and just follow facts.
You mentioned that you're continuing to look at this case every day. Are there more searches planned as we're approaching the summer months?
No specific plan. However, if we get specific information about a specific location, building, what have you, we would coordinate with each other to go take a look at that location. What made it hard back in the summer is obviously the foliage. That's why you saw the 2 searches that were when the leaves were on the ground, so that we could use air assets and that you could actually see.
Give it just a second. Hold on, we'll see.
Take your business to new places.
Bill Barr and
Okay.
his daughter Ivanka
So I think that
Trump
was
stated
it
he had
on
been
what
told
we
the election
have.
was fair.
What we have is fact, but I'll try to find a cleaner copy of this. But there's a couple things that I do want to point out. Let me put my face back up here. There we go. That I do want to point out. So we're going to watch this. We just heard that there was a lot of questions asked. They're still having a problem, it sounds like, with the timeline, which, makes sense now that we know what, what was discovered as far as the truck being there for a significant amount of time on the 15th, on June 15th. I always have wondered if there's some, cameras, because they have a lot of animals out there. And if anything happens to them, they would probably want to know what it is. So is it possible that they have cameras, out there at the horse stables? It's possible. Somebody has brought that up. I don't know that for a fact, but it is possible. What I do want to, we're going to go back through this just real quick. I want to stop and talk about a few things that, let's see where we're in. First of all, I want to show you guys, I mean, these folks here have somber looks on their face. Okay. That's one thing. This case is really affecting these law enforcement officers. And I can tell you that I've personally spoke to Cliff Evans. I personally spoke to this gentleman. I don't remember his name. And I personally spoke to John Pruitt. And I can tell you that this is affecting them. This is affecting, they want to bring this home. They want to close. I can promise you, they want to close this case. They want to close this case, nothing more. Because the whole entire world is looking at their small little county. They've had more publicity in this county than they care to have. They want this case closed. They want to bring this home. They want to stop, first of all, their priority is the victim and bringing justice to that victim. I want to make sure that that's clear. I'm not taking away from that. But they want to go back to doing their cases. There's a lot of other cases that need all these detectives' assistance, right? And here they are spending hours upon hours trying to find this little baby that they're having. And like the gentleman said, this gentleman told me, they're trying to find a needle in a haystack. A needle in a haystack. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to find that needle in a haystack. And it's very difficult because they don't know where she is. They know she's somewhere. They know she's somewhere. Okay. All right, FBI. I'll get to the messenger here after a bit. So let's listen, because there's a couple other points that I want to make. But I just want you guys to notice these officers do not have smiles on their face. I want you to pay attention to their behavior. They're not happy with this. They're not happy not having answers. They're not happy a year later having to come and say that they don't have. But there are some stuff in this, and let's listen.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Leslie Earhart, Public Information Officer for the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. Before we get started, I want to stress that the investigation into the disappearance of Summer Wells is very much active and ongoing. Please understand, in order to preserve the integrity of the investigation, we simply can't speak to specifics.
So they're telling us that now I want you guys to listen to this. Due to the integrity of the investigation, to keep the integrity of the investigation, together. There is just not things that they can tell us. Okay? I want you guys to listen to that. Let's just listen to that one more time.
I want to stress that the investigation into the disappearance of Summer Wells is very much active and ongoing. Please understand, in order to preserve the integrity of the investigation, we simply can't speak to specifics.
To preserve the integrity of the investigation, they can't speak to specifics. Okay? To preserve the integrity of the investigation. That right there, that one statement is telling us they have information. What's that information? We don't know. We don't know. But they have something that they can't tell or allege on here about the investigation because they need to preserve the investigation that is going on. And yes, Baby Yoda, I agree. It's been a year. But again, the West boys didn't get justice for 14 plus months. But this is a good sign. If there's integrity in this investigation, if they have information in this investigation that they don't want known, they're not going to speak to specifics. So that's a plus. That is a check mark in a box in the right direction. That's a check mark in a box in the right direction. Let's keep going.
We appreciate you being here today and your continued coverage of this case. At approximately 6:30 p.m. on this day, 1 year ago, Summer Wells, who was 5 years old at the time, was reported missing from her home on Ben Hill Road in the Beach Creek community of Hawkins County. When we held the first media briefing on June 16th, honestly, we expected to have good news to report by the time the next media briefing came around.
So they're basically telling us here, in my opinion, this is my analysis of this conversation. This is not fact. This is my opinion. They're basically telling us that they thought she just wandered away and that she would have been found. Because the majority of children that wander from their home don't wander too far. Granted, kids can take off like bullets at the beginning, but they slow down. They still slow down. And we have, when you're out there at night, it's very, very dark. You can't see an inch in front of your face. It's that dark. It's pitch black. It's blacker than black. You can't see nothing unless you have lights on. Okay? It's that dark out there. So a child most likely would have been scared, would have stopped, would have laid down. At some point, children, and many of you that have children know this, they run, and all of a sudden you hear nothing and you're like, where's the child? The child could be in the middle of the hallway, passed out, sleeping, right? So they are expecting to have found this child. The majority of the children that wander off, TBI has found within 48 hours. So they were hoping if she had just wandered off, they would have found her. That's what I'm getting from that statement. That's what I'm getting from that statement. I don't know if anybody else is getting that same opinion from that statement, but that's my opinion of that statement. When she made that statement that they expected to have good news, within that 48 hours, that by that next step, that on that first press conference, but by the next press conference, they definitely thought they would have found something, right? Because they find children, and they have found a lot of wandering children. One, that boy that took his dog for a walk in a couple counties over in Tennessee, he was found in 48 hours. He was brought home. He was a little cold, but he was found in the same kind of terrain that Summer went missing in. TBI was able to find this little boy. So that's what they were expecting. If this child had wandered off, they would have expected to find it, because with that many people, that much air support, that much ground support with dogs, they would have located that child had that child merely wandered off. Now, I'm putting words in their mouth because, again, this is what I'm getting out of what she's saying. In my opinion, this is what she's saying to me. This may not be what other people are hearing when she says that, but that's what I'm hearing when she says that. Let's keep going.
Unfortunately, instead, day after day ended in frustration and disappointment. At that time, no one expected that we would still be searching for Summer 1 year later. We've said from the beginning, this case is outside the norm. There are a few clues as to what happened to Summer.
And I want to bring that up. There are few clues about that day to tell them what happened to Summer. Few clues, right? They didn't say none. They didn't say none. They have some credible leads that are telling them and directing them as to what may have happened to Summer. And just before that, they can't speak to specifics to preserve the integrity of the investigation. So I think we're hearing all the right things that we need to hear in this case. They do have clues, and they do have a case that they have to preserve the integrity on. This is not a law enforcement agency, in my opinion, that is exactly in the same position as they were when they received the call on June 15th that Summer Wells went missing. Just my opinion.
Despite investigators doing everything within their power to find answers, all possibilities are still being explored. Many of you have asked for details.
And that whole all possibilities are still being explored, to me, from a defense perspective, to me, law enforcement has to say that. Because if they don't say that, and they say, for example, they say Don Wells and Candace Wells were the only people we looked at, then the defense attorney can fight that and say they never looked anywhere else. They never explored any other option as to what happened to Summer Wells. They only looked directly at my client and never anywhere else. That is a affirmative defense that can be brought up in a criminal trial. That they honed in on us and they thought we did it, and they built a case as to it was us that did it. This is something, in my opinion, that a defense attorney could tear apart if that was said. They're saying everything's still on the table. Everyone's still on the table. We are still looking at all possibilities. This is, to me, a way to defeat that particular defense strategy. Is that 100% true? Is there factual? No, there's not. This is just taking my experience and the things that I've learned and applying it to what they are saying. I could be absolutely completely off base. I really could. But I don't think I am, because they're talking about a case that they need to preserve the integrity on. And they're talking about few clues that they have, knowing what has happened to Summer Wells. And those are statements of fact from the TBI spokesperson. Let's keep listening.
Details about what's been done over the last year. I can tell you agents and detectives have spent thousands of hours on this case. Numerous search warrants have been executed. Cell phone data has been analyzed, and any other available digital evidence has been collected, searched, and documented.
And those cell phone, digital data may be part of the few clues that they have as to what happened to Summer that day. It is possible. It is possible. And probable.
This includes the social media accounts of those associated with Summer. 3 large ground searches have taken place in the last year with the assistance of more than 100 local, state, and federal agencies. Those searches do not account for the numerous targeted searches done by agents and detectives as they were following up on potential leads. From TBI alone, more than 100 agents, intelligence analysts, and support staff from across the state have been involved in this case. TBI agents working alongside the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and the FBI have conducted nearly 170 interviews during the investigation. That does not count the hundreds of phone calls made to follow up on tips reported to law enforcement. While investigators have been diligently working to find answers, they've had to deal with thousands of tips generated by false information that in some cases has been intentionally spread across social media platforms. We know that this case
Hold on.
has attracted the attention of
Let's go back and listen to that. This is a statement of fact. This is a statement of fact from TBI. Now we're going to listen to this again.
media platforms. We know that this case has attracted the attention of individuals across the country who genuinely care about summer and want nothing more but to help us find answers. We appreciate those people. However, we are also aware that there are some people using this case for their own personal gain
I think I went ahead. Hold on, let me go back.
of summer and want nothing more but to help us
Hold
find
on.
answers.
I want to
Has
go.
been intentionally spread across social media platforms.
There we go.
We know
Let's
that
go back. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry for.
They've had to deal with thousands of tips generated by false information that in some cases has been intentionally spread across social media.
So she's saying, as a statement of fact, that there are people on social media intentionally spreading false information. Intentionally. This is not people that are on here like me, where we get information and we dissect it and we talk about some speculation and opinions and things like that. These are people that are intentionally going out and spreading false information to drive a different narrative than one that is going on. Now, let me tell you guys something. How, for TPI to say that, that means they know, or at least have an idea of what actually happened. Because for somebody to intentionally spread false information, that means somebody would have had to know that that information that they're spreading is false and to change the direction of the case. She stated that for a statement of fact. And it makes me wonder, if they know that people are intentionally doing this, are people going to be held accountable for obstruction of justice? It makes me wonder. It makes me wonder. Well, you know, that's the problem, because he doesn't even know what he's talking about, because he doesn't get away from it. After he's done with his pizza shop job, he decides he wants to go and talk about stuff that's not something that he knows. He keeps trying. Like, he's even said, I've obstructed justice, which is a criminal charge that I've never done, and know the prong test necessary to obstruct justice. Somebody is intentionally out there threatening witnesses to cases. There are people that are out there trying to throw other people into the case, so the case has to stop, so those other people are investigated, vetted, and cleared. This is something that has been going on, because I've been reading this type of language from TBI since August of 2021. This was prior to our team ever being involved in this case publicly. So there are ill-willed people out there intentionally spreading false information to thwart an investigation. And I hope that those folks are held accountable for those actions, because the only person that they're hurting by doing that is Summer Wells. That is the only person that they're hurting. The only person. And I can tell you, somebody like Chris McDonough, that's investigated these types of cases for many years, probably knows a little more than, say, Baby Gap does. I'm just saying. I would trust what comes out of Chris McDonough's mouth 1,000 times more than I ever would give Baby Gap the time of the day. Just saying. And you know why? Because Chris McDonough actually makes sense.
We know that this case has attracted the attention of individuals across the country who genuinely care about summer and want nothing more but to help us find answers.
Boom. That is the majority. The people that she's talking about right there is the majority of the people on YouTube talking about this case. that genuinely want to help Summer and find answers and find her and bring her back safe. There are many creators out there that talk about her and keep her face out there in the public so she is not forgotten and people will see her. And then you have the people that have nefarious acts, that have contracts that are being paid to run interference and that have been paid to run interference for the Wells, by the Wells, or by Tim Mullen. And it makes you wonder why.
We appreciate those people. However, we are also aware that there are some people using this case for their own personal gain.
And what she's referring there is not people that get tips from covering these cases and you guys donate tips to a channel. What she is referring to there for financial gain is like that jerk off 423 Chase that collected thousands of dollars for billboards that never went up. He pocketed that money. He scammed people out of that money under the umbrella that he wanted to do something for Summer Wells. And guess who was eating with Benny Keys when he went up to Tennessee in December? Guess who was sitting at a restaurant eating with Benny Keys? 423 Chase. 432 Chase, whatever his number was. You guys know who I'm talking about. Was eating breakfast in a restaurant while live streaming with Benny Keys. And that was in December. That was after people were scammed out of money for billboards. After people were scammed out of money from billboards. And he was sitting down and joking, laughing, and having a great time with Benny Keys at a restaurant. This is factual information that no one can dispute. Factual information. We saw it with our own eyes, right? So I don't want to hear people saying I'm hating on anybody. You guys want the facts. Those are the facts.
By spreading false information on social media posts as facts, some go as far as to solicit donations. This has had a major impact on the investigation and not in a good way. Moving forward, we ask the public not to submit tips as a result of a video they viewed on YouTube or a theory they've seen posted on Facebook.
And I have said that many a times. Unless you have firsthand knowledge, even if Mary Sue down the way said, oh, I saw this, I saw that, you don't call law enforcement and tell them the hearsay that Mary Sue down the way told them. You have Mary Sue because she's the one with the firsthand knowledge and the one with the information and the one with the tip to call into TBI, 1-800-TBI, and give that information. We've said that from out the gate. We don't want anybody because they've heard on this channel or any other channel, speculative in nature when we're covering these cases and we're saying, oh, well, this could have happened and that could have happened. We don't want you picking up the phone and calling TBI and saying, oh, somebody brought this up on their channel and it makes sense. That's speculation. That's hearsay. That has no relevance. And I can promise you from my conversations that I've had with law enforcement in Hawkins County, they've speculated all these speculative because that's part of their process when trying to figure out, what they're seeing, the evidence that they're receiving, the clues that they've got related to Summer Wells. They've already speculated. There's only 4 possibilities. Well, 5 now that the PI says this animal attack, which if there was an animal attack, they would have been able to find it very quickly and it would have been case closed day 1. They wouldn't still be out here a year later trying to find evidence of an animal attack. It would have been prevalent at that moment. They would have seen the torn clothes. They would have seen the blood on the ground. They would have seen the drag marks on the ground. Those types of things did not exist on June 15th, June 16th, all the way to June 24th when they had their last press conference. They would have found that. That would have been a very gruesome scenario. But let's go over the 5 things that could have happened. You got stranger danger type of abduction, a targeted type of abduction, walking off, the animal attack, and foul play. Now you eliminate the majority of these. They're not going to tell you that they've eliminated these things. What they've done is they just put them down on the bottom of the list. This could not have happened because if this would have happened, we would have seen this, and this. You see what I'm saying? They've seen these people do this all day long, nonstop. They have seen some of the most horrific of the horrific. They have talked to people that have lied to their face. They know they've lied to their face, and they've still had to let them walk out of their office because they didn't have the necessary evidence to arrest them. They didn't have the probable cause evidence to make the arrest. It doesn't mean that it didn't happen. It doesn't mean that these people weren't involved. It just means they don't have the necessary evidence to put those silver bracelets on their wrist. So when they come up with a theory and they look at the evidence, and the evidence is working toward one possibility, right? Then they got to start preparing the case and figuring out what do they need? What elements do they need of this case to show this? And that's when they work with like the state attorney's office and say, what do you need to prosecute this case? And the state attorney says, well, you're missing this, you're missing this, you're missing this. If we can get these things, I could probably take this case to a grand jury. But we need these items. We need this checked off. And now they have to go back and start working on checking those things off, dotting their I's and crossing their T's, in my opinion.
Please help us and only call if you have direct, specific information about the disappearance of Summer. This investigation weighs heavily on us all, and I can promise you that no one wants answers more than we do. We are not going to stop until we find them. I'm going to turn it over to Sheriff Ronnie Lawson.
So that's my breakdown of TBI's statement. I do believe they are working. I mean, you see their faces. These officers, you can see it on their face. I believe, when we watch this, you could feel the tension. You can almost cut the tension with a knife in that room. And to me, it sounds like they had to craft and work on their statement very delicately, because there's people like me and others around the country and around the globe that tear their statement apart, right? We dissect it. And they know that. It's not uncommon for people to dissect statements from law enforcement because they're curious. They're wanting to find answers, especially about this beautiful baby girl that went missing. So they're being constrained. They have to preserve their investigation. The great thing is they have an investigation to preserve. They have limited clues, but they have clues nonetheless. So this is signaling to me that they have more than they're letting the public know. And it, to me, sounds like they may have a lot more than the public, than the public knows. The faces on these detectives could be a few things. It could be that, they're just not getting that missing link to finally put this case to bed, that they just need one more thing that they're just struggling to get. Or it could be that they know that she's no longer with us. And it's sad. And they're still trying to build the case. There's a lot of things that could explain, they may feel like they've let Summer down. There's a lot of things that can go into why law enforcement they're not happy. They want this case put to bed. I promise you, especially with the spotlight being on this small little county. They've never had the type of publicity that they're having right now. They've never had a microscope dead set on the sheriff's office or TBI like they have right now. They want this case closed. They want this case closed bad. They want to find who's responsible for Summer Wells They want to bring this home. I guarantee when they find what happened to this baby girl, some of them might be smiling. It's not smiling because they're happy they found the answers. They're smiling because they finally are able to bring justice to Summer Wells, if that does happen. If that does happen. So we are just going to just keep thanking law enforcement. We're going to give them positive vibes. We're going to pray for them daily that they get the answers that they need to finally bring justice to baby Summer. And hopefully that comes sooner than later. It has been a year. But the good news is this is not the first case that TBI, this may be the biggest case in Hawkins County history, but this is not the first rodeo for TBI or the FBI, which has dealt with many horrific things. And also remember in Kylen Schulte and Crystal Turner, how long it took to get the forensics back, the DNA. I'm sure they had picked up a lot of evidence in and around the Wells home that had to be processed by the FBI, forensically processed by the FBI. Those results may not have come back yet. They may not. So we may be still waiting for forensics. That might be holding up this case. And once they have forensics, they might be able to slam the gavel down for justice for Summer. We don't know. We don't know. Yes, prayers, prayers, prayers. So let's just go over some other stuff that we've learned. Not a whole lot going on with, let me open this up a little bit bigger, with Harmony Montgomery. But there was a refrigerator that was removed from the New Hampshire home that they were searching for. And this was her old home. Let's see what we can find. Investigators searching the home previously occupied by Harmony Montgomery's father and stepmother left a fridge and floorboards, according to current tenants. Manchester Police Department spent Tuesday and Wednesday at the apartment where Harmony's father and estranged wife lived in 2019. The New Hampshire Attorney General confirmed last week that part of an ongoing hunt for the now 8-year-old girl who disappeared between November 28th and December 19th in 2019, officials would not disclose any details of the search, but the new renter told Boston 25 that police ripped up a closet in a bedroom and tore up carpet and floorboards, cutting a hole in the ceiling over the tub to access water pipes, and took off doorknobs and shower faucets. Harmony's mother, Crystal Story, lost custody in July 2018 to her husband, Adam Montgomery, due to her substance abuse issues. She last saw Harmony on a video on Easter of 2019, telling police that the young girl seemed frightened. Adam Montgomery was arrested in early January and charged with felony second-degree assault for the 2019 incident, 1 misdemeanor of charge of interference with custody, and 2 misdemeanor charges of endangering the welfare of a child, all tied to Harmony Montgomery's disappearance. So this is, again, kind of what I was hoping would happen in the Wells case, where they went ahead and made some charges against them that they could prove, such as they could have charged the Wells with misdemeanor endangering the welfare of a child in connection with not only Summer, but with her brothers. And this is the type of stuff that I'm unclear as to why has not happened in the Summer Wells case thus far. Montgomery's estranged wife, Kayla, has been charged with 2 felony counts of perjury for alleged lying to the grand jury about where she was when Harmony disappeared. She has also been arrested on gun charges for allegedly collecting food stamps and other benefits while Harmony was missing. Despite the ongoing search, Sori says Friday that she is starting to lose hope she'll ever see her daughter again. This is no longer a rescue mission. It's not a missing person anymore. I know in my heart it's going to switch from a missing persons case to a homicide. That is, it's sending needles in my body to hear a mother say that, gripping with the loss. Think about that. She had drug issues, and, while those she probably brought onto herself at the beginning, the drugs took over her life and she lost her daughter. And she's going to have to live with the fact that not only did she lose her daughter because of stuff that she did to her own self, but now that her daughter is most likely gone and will never walk this earth again. And she could have stopped it and didn't. And I'm not blaming her. I mean, I am blaming her. But, these are things that she's going to have to live with the rest of her life, because in a grand scheme of things, it is part of her responsibility as to where we got to this day, with Harmony's case. Because had she not had these issues, she would not have lost the custody, and Harmony would still be safe and still be running around and still be able to have a life. A lot of this stuff that we hear about with these children that go missing, there is a common theme with them. There is. And it's the drug and alcohol and the abuse that is what's, that goes on inside the home or homes. Because in many of these cases, it's not just one person that has the problem. It's both mom and dad. So it's just a bad situation all the way around. So it's just sad to hear that. It's been waiting right now. It's been really waiting right now at this point. I was told things are going to get really intense over the next few weeks to come. A lot is going to happen. So it sounds like with them getting that subpoena and search warrant, it sounds like the reason why they cut. Listen, guys, I've been doing this long enough and watched this stuff long enough that we know when they're starting to get into drain pipes and cutting holes in the ceiling of, this is going to be hard for me to say. It's really going to be hard for me to say. But when you start hearing about bathtubs and start hearing about ceilings being cut out, you're looking for blood splatter. You're looking for blood spatter that could be associated with dismemberment. And does that mean that's what happened? It doesn't. It doesn't. But that's, typically what you see in these types of cases, unless something happened while she was in the bathroom where she was beaten and there's blood splatter. But I can tell you they're not cutting out pieces of the ceiling unless there's evidence on that piece that they're cutting out. So this is bad. I mean, this is really bad. And then they remove the refrigerator as well. This is going to, I think this is going to, when this Harmony Montgomery's case comes to fruition, I think we're going to find something very brutal and very gruesome happen to that little girl. And it's going to break my heart. It's going to break my heart. So, it doesn't sound very good. It doesn't sound very good at all. Whew. So missing Harmony Montgomery, what did investigators find at her father's former apartment? Let's find out. The New Hampshire tenants living in apartments once belonged to the dad and stepmom of missing Harmony Montgomery has revealed some of the items searched this week by FBI-led search teams. So the FBI is the one that is conducting this investigations. Investigations visited 644 Union Street apartments in Manchester on Tuesday as part of an ongoing search for Harmony. A spokesperson for the Hillsborough County District Attorney's Office warned against speculation about the significance of the evidence authorities were seen carrying out of the home after investigators left the scene. He said that they would not be releasing any additional information citing the ongoing probe. They don't want you to speculate, but we all have been watching this long enough to know that law enforcement doesn't necessarily remove, sections of drywall. Sorry, unless, they probably did an luminol test and saw something there that they should not have saw and cut it out so they can take it for proper forensic testing. So there's something there. And while they don't want us to speculate on what's there, we definitely know law enforcement does not take these things unless they have. I mean, this seemed like a very targeted, thorough search of this apartment, which, is a little crazy because, again, they took doorknobs, faucet handles, they exposed the pipe, they cut out and took a section of the ceiling. They're in the bathroom, in the bathtub. Things, while they don't want you speculating, it doesn't take a rocket science to kind of figure out what's going on here. Photos and evidence show investigators removed a refrigerator and other evidence and looked under a manhole cover outside. So they're pulling up floorboards and removing refrigerators there and taking it with them. They wasn't just looking at it. It was taking those items with them. And now that you're talking about a manhole cover, it sounds to me, again, speculating, which they tell us not to speculate. So this is just kind of running through my head of what this means. Could they have done something to her in the house and then in the middle of the night went out and took care of something in a different place, whether it be, the rain gutters that are out there on the streets? We don't know. We don't know. But it sounds like that's the avenue, the signal that they're pointing to as I'm reading this. Now, does that mean I'm accurate? No, it doesn't. I'm just reading the paper just like you and just making my own opinions and hypothesis based upon what I'm hearing here. The current tenant, identified as Ginger, told Boston 25 News that the investigators took a refrigerator, doorknobs, and faucets and replaced them all with new ones. They said they also looked closely in the bedroom closet and cut out bathroom drywall to examine the pipes. When Fox News Digital reached out to a number listed for the address, a man who answered the phone hung up after the reporter identified himself. Ginger told Boston that she believes the refrigerator had already been replaced in the time since Harmony's dad and mom moved out. Harmony, now 8, went missing from her father's custody in 2019, according to authorities, but missing persons report wasn't filed until late last year, when her non-custodial mother learned she had never been registered to attend school in her father's hometown. Adam Montgomery, a violent ex-con and drug addict, had claimed he last saw Harmony after giving her to her biological mother, Crystal Sorey, around Thanksgiving 2019, a story police say is a lie. He is facing child abuse charges for allegedly giving the girl a black eye before she went missing, and is accused of stonewalling investigators as they continue to search for the missing child. Adam Montgomery has been held without bail since January, but has not been charged in direct connection with Harmony's disappearance. His estranged wife and Harmony's stepmother, Kayla Montgomery, faces fraud and other charges after allegedly collecting food stamps in the girl's name for months after she was last seen, after she last saw her, and again for lying to the grand jury. A Manchester court's decision to grant him custody of the girl, despite his criminal past, prompted a state review and calls for reform in how the state handles child welfare cases. New Hampshire authorities have also called for reforms. So it sounds like New Hampshire is either taking this seriously or providing lip service to the public. We don't know. We don't know. Yeah, we all feel for that little one. I have a manhole nearby that people drop newborn cats and puppies into. I keep reporting that. That's sad. That's sad. People love kittens and puppies, and they are the easiest to sell at animal service types of facilities, because everybody wants a kitty or a puppy, as opposed to an older. Some people that are older, they want an older dog so they don't have to train. They don't have to go through the mess in the house, the litter training and all this other stuff that goes along with having a new animal, a baby, a baby, a kitty or a puppy. But hopefully people start coming around and turning those newborn animals into animal services where they can be adopted. Why throw them? Why kill them when you can easily have them adopted to go to loving homes with loving people? It just doesn't make sense. So hopefully everybody, if you see something, say something. Yes, I agree. I agree. But if and people may hate me for this, but if you told me if we needed to focus on, creating new laws to prevent child abuse as opposed to animal abuse, hands down, I'm going to go for a human being advocacy as opposed to an animal advocacy. We love our animals. We love our animals, but we need to make sure that children have more laws to protect them than animals do, in my opinion. I wish there was a way we could do both, right? And we should be able to walk and chew gum. But in the grand scheme of the government and bureaucracy and the red tape, it's almost impossible. They cripple everybody from being able to do an efficient and effective job. And you want something screwed up, involve the government. That's my opinion. So there's an update on Harmony Montgomery. Now, what I find a little concerning for me is, we hear all these updates. We get Summer Wells' name out there. We've got, Harmony Montgomery's name out there. When Serenity McKinney was missing, we got her name and her face out there. And, Cody Bigsby was involved in that. He was part of these, we found all these children kind of the same thing, like Harmony Montgomery and Serenity McKinney's situation was almost a spitting image of each other, from them being gone for literally a year before they were reported, that type of thing. The scenario around them being reported missing was almost a spitting image of each other. And it sounds to me like that's going to be the case for Cody Bigsby too. It appears that he may not have been seen for for days or months prior to him being reported missing. I don't know. I just heard that there was a delay in the report time from when he was actually truly last seen. So I'm curious about that. But what's upsetting to me about Cody Bigsby is he's barely even talked about. Nobody's even updating. The last update we got for Cody was back on May 10th. May 10th. I mean, it is June 20th right now. It is literally June 20th right now. Why is my heart not beating? My heart's not beating on my, I think I need to go clean it. It's not beating. It's not showing my pulse. I have a pulse, guys. Don't call for help. I got a pulse. I promise. It's my watch is not picking up my pulse. I wonder why. So, and that's a little upsetting. And so I'm thinking that maybe this needs to be the next place I go to find answers. I don't like it when we have children that are disappearing and parents are in jail and there is literally no information. At this point, something should be fed to the public about what is going on with this case. So let's read what we can find out in this particular article about Cody Bigsby. Where is Cody Bigsby? It's been 100 days since the 4-year-old was reported missing from his home off of Old Buckrow Road in Hampton. And that's Hampton, Virginia. Again, reported missing. You got to listen to those key words in these articles. So he was reported missing 100 days ago. On Tuesday at 2 p.m., 10 on your side, Asia Tolliver and John Dowding posted a question and answer Facebook Live. These two wavy reporters, I guess that's the name of their Yeah, it's from Wavy. It's I guess a news source. Reporter covered this case since Cody was first reported missing. If you were unable to tune in, you can watch the replay link here. Maybe we will watch that today. I'm not sure. Cody's father, Corey Bigsby, is still in jail. Corey first reported his son missing on January 31st. Originally, he told police that he last saw his son at 2 a.m. that day, then reported him missing around 9 a.m., 7 hours later. We're concerned about, Candace's 4 hours. This man didn't report it, allegedly report his son missing for 7 solid hours. And that's if we believe that story. But, he's seen him at 2 a.m. Hampton police launched a search near his Bigsby home. Police did not issue an Amber Alert because they did not believe Cody was abducted. They didn't even issue an Amber Alert because they didn't believe there was no evidence of an abduction. For weeks, volunteers searched the woods near the family's home. Many still pray for answers, concerned for the child's safety. Look at that boy. Look at that beautiful face. Never had a chance. So sad. During the search and interrogations, police say Corey admitted to leaving his young children at home alone to run errands. As a result, he was charged with 7 felony child neglect charges. Corey has been denied bond twice. Although police have named Corey a person of interest in his son's disappearance, he has not been formally charged in connection with his disappearance. So they have actually publicly stated that Corey is the person of interest. This is a night and day difference from what we're hearing from Tennessee and Hawkins County and TBI. This is the way I believe investigations into these children need to be. Because if you know that the majority of missing children are injured primarily from a parent or a trusted person that they know, why, if you find criminal activity and things that you can charge people with, why aren't you charging them with what you can prove now and throw them in jail now and go back and charge them with the other stuff as the case formulates? You do not have to put these all in big bows. You don't, for example, Stephanie Shinnefield, right? They arrested William Redden on different charges. They charged him with 3 things. He now has 6 charges against him right now because they keep adding charges to them as they have the evidence of those new charges. So he may have several different court cases going on as opposed to one big case. They may separate all those out and he may be tried separately for each of those charges. There's nothing wrong with that. Tennessee could also do that. I'm still a little curious as to why that's not happening, but I digress. I beat that dead horse, right? There's no point in keep going down. You guys know how I feel about that. But this is how I think investigations into these children's disappearance needs to be. This man was denied bond twice. This man was charged with things unrelated to the disappearance of his child. He is being charged with those child welfare crimes against his children, not just Cody, but all the children in his care. And this is why it is important that I believe we need to have a standard for these types of cases. And this here needs to be the standard. When you feel that the parents are involved, you get them behind bars as soon as possible. You don't allow them to walk and breathe a normal life. You want them sitting behind that cell thinking of that child day in and day out, where they can't dilute their minds or their souls with substances. That's my opinion. Although police have named Corey as a person of interest, he has not been formally charged in the connection of Cody's disappearance. The police chief announced Corey was denied an attorney when he asked for one. The lead investigator was removed from the case, citing possible mishandling. So it sounds like they have a technicality and a legality issue in this case too, which may cause a problem for them because, fruit from the poisonous tree. These are the types of things we don't like happening in the cases. We don't like hearing about in the cases, because they can negatively affect the cases in the long run. So, that is not very good, but it's good that the investigator was removed from the case and was replaced with somebody that is following the proper protocols. But, when time is of the essence, sometimes, the risk is worth the reward. And what do I mean by that is, if sometimes just getting the information on the location, whether or not, sometimes you're fighting against the clock, and, they may have strategically chose to violate the law for the better good. That's not right. That's not right. But it may, and I don't know if that's the case. I'm just speculating here. But when you're missing a child, and you want to just find the child, and you can go from there, do they make mistakes? Do they do stuff they're not supposed to? But I could kind of understand if it was unintentional or intentional. I can understand both. And again, I'm not advocating for law enforcement to break the law and violate somebody's rights and somebody's constitutional rights at that. That's not what I'm saying here, but I'm just saying I understand the reasoning behind it if that was the case. So court documents show Corey fired his last attorney, Jeffrey Ambrose. Matheny Willard issued a cease and desist order for the police chief and city attorney. This order says city leaders made comments that led to Bigsby's family being harassed. Kate Coleman is a Hampton mother, one of many community members who wanted to help share Cody's story to bring him home. This has become our kid. This is the community's child, she said. I felt like if nobody else is giving him a voice, then it's up to us as the community give him a voice. That sounds pretty darn familiar in the Summer Wells case in Summer's Army, doesn't it? That sounds pretty stinking familiar, because that's how I feel with Summer Wells. So that's when I stepped up and really took a bigger role. Yes. Coleman stated in a Facebook group called Where's Cody Bigsby, Hampton, Virginia. She also started a grassroots group called Here Are Their Voices to give their voice to other missing children. Like our flyer and everything we do, we pay for, or our group has helped pay for. And our group is it's probably like 40 people that's really helped us, she said. And that's it. These things to advocate for these children, it does cost money. It's easy to crowdfund on projects like this than it is not to, for flyers, for things of this nature. And God bless her for doing all the stuff that she's doing in out of the goodness of her heart and in the name of Cody Bigsby. Dozens of people came out during the first 2 weeks to aid in the search efforts. The one thing that the parents or the family of Summer Wells never worked to help or do. And now those massive search groups have died down, but Coleman says there's no reason to stop searching. For those wanting to help, Coleman says there's one simple thing you can do. Keep his name out there. I always say his name, or say Cody Bigsby. He's still out there. Reach one, teach one. For every person you reach, they reach someone else, she said. That is a perfect analogy of what we all do for Summer Wells each and every day, and all the children that are like Cody Bigsby. And this is just, it's nice to hear people doing that. I may actually, like I said, I am very interested in this case and in this story. I don't feel like it's getting enough publicity and enough attention from social media. And I may end up going into this area to do some research on this very case, to bring out as much information as we can do. So for those of you that think that this is a good idea, this will be coming up in the near future. Just keep it in the back of your head. This little boy needs the help of Summer's Army. He needs us. He needs our help. And people are still out there searching for this baby. They're searching for this baby. And it's amazing to me that he's not getting as much attention as other children across social media. And we need to bring a voice to him as well. And that's the amazing part about this summer's army that we have created. That's what is amazing about each and every one of you, is that we can take Summer's Army and start helping other children that are missing. So, that's just an idea that I have. I hope you guys will support me on that initiative. I haven't even began the planning stages of something like this. And, I'd like to have other creators involved in something like this, because I find when several of us are pushing a case, it gets much more notoriety and it's more widespread than just, say, one creator with one-offs of these cases. So I'm going to be looking into bringing several creators on board with something like this, so we can push this far and wide and get to a broader audience, because the name of the game is getting these faces out there and getting attention brought to them. No matter what the haters want to say about us, we do this as a labor of love for these victims, and nobody can ever change our heart, and nobody can ever stop us when we're doing it for the right reasons. And for that, I really think this young man, this boy, this beautiful baby, not young man, he's just a baby. He's just a baby, guys. He's just a baby, and he needs our help. He needs our help. He needs Summer's Army. He really does. And so I will start working on that. We'll start brainstorming here online about how we can best help this situation, but it's going to take a lot of legwork. It's going to take a lot of strategic planning. So it's the most impactful. We don't want to go out there without making an impact and doing good. So we will be starting to talk about this. And then there's another case that's near and dear to my heart that I need to start working on, and actually am getting other creators involved in. Actually, it was a creator that reached out to me, and I thought about bringing other creators in it, where we sit and talk about Michael Vaughn, Monkey. Michael Monkey Vaughn. And he's been missing almost a year now. And we also need to help that little boy as well. Summer's Army is very impactful. We can do a lot with it. There's many creators that have portions of our Summer's Army in their chats. And we need to really be impactful and really do some good in helping these children. Justice for Michael Vaughn, Monkey Vaughn. Yes, we need to start, bringing awareness to his case and getting very much exposure on what's going on with his case. There's a lot out there for him, for us to dissect and look into and analyze. So yeah, Oakley Carson, Cody Bigsby, we've got a lot, and we have a great foundation with Summer's Army, and I don't want to lose that, and I want to propel Summer's Army to do great things moving forward. So this is another case, this little baby boy right here, this cute, amazing little boy that we don't know what happened to. We need to get to the bottom of it. And we need to expose the heck out of his case, get his face plastered across social media far and wide, so we can locate anybody that has any information to the whereabouts of Cody or his father. His father left these children at home because he didn't want to be tied. Who leaves their young children? These kids, he left these children for 7 hours. Do you know that he had 2 twins that were 2 years old? The oldest child was 5, and you leave them for 7 hours on end alone? And that's if he's being truthful about that. That's, to me, is unacceptable. It's unacceptable, and it's unacceptable for law enforcement. So this, again, Cody Bigsby, they need Summer's Army. He needs Summer's Army. Michael Vaughn needs Summer's Army. Harmony Montgomery still needs Summer's Army. And we're going to start, yes, Stephanie, yes. We're going to start figuring it out. We're going to start figuring it out. And we're going to start, broadcasting it. Again, and I said this at the right after the vigil. We're going to take this. We're not going to stop looking and fighting for Summer Wells. You guys know I travel all over the country. It's not going to be the last time I go back to Rogersville, Tennessee, to search, to look, to question, to find answers. It's not. But at the end of the day, we have a huge platform here with Summer's Army that we can really do good for other children. And two of the children that I would like to focus on right now are Michael Vaughn and Cody Bigsby. He needs our help. So he is adorable. Look at that little face. He is adorable. He absolutely is. And it's sad. So just a more update on him. Oh, gosh, look at that little face, man. It just breaks your heart. Ugh, sad. So 100 days ago, Cody Bigsby disappeared from in Hampton. Many still wonder where he is. On January 31st, his father reported his son missing, last seen at 2 a.m. in their home. More than 14 weeks later, many in the community remain united in finding this little boy. Keetra Coleman said she searched the woods surrounding Cody's home on Tuesday. It has been an emotional roller coaster, Coleman said. We don't have any answers. I feel like we're no closer from day 1 to day 100. And really what's happened, 100 days, and really what happened to Cody. Another volunteer, Joe Slabusky of Water Team Inc., has covered a lot of ground and logged thousands of hours searching for Cody. Until this little boy is either brought forward or found, we're not going to stop searching for him. This young boy has given us the ability to come together. I think we somewhat adopted Cody as our own. Again, it's melting my heart, because this is what Summer's Army is all about. That's where, it was this little girl that brought us all together, and we wanted answers. And now we're able to take that platform and work to try to help provide answers for others. So very much an active case, very much something that's not being widespread or, being out there in social media, bringing a broad attention to this case. We need to start doing that. So again, this is one case, as well as Michael Vaughn. You're going to see Bullhorn Betty channel start really working on. We're going to start talking about them a little more regularly. We're going to start posting their photos and pictures up on this channel regularly. We're going to try to find out what happened and provide as much information as we can. Just like Summer Wells, there's a lot of stuff that we acquired that was really good content that we've never aired to the public due to the integrity of the investigation, for the preservation of the investigation for law enforcement. We do try to bring as much information as we can. Do we get it right all the time? Of course not. I'm human. I make mistakes. You guys watch me touch stuff that could be potential evidence, because I was out there and told that, the area had been searched and ran across something and touched it, not realizing what it was and how foolish that was. And of course, they blasted all over YouTube, right? But it was an accident. I'm human. I make those things, and will continue to till the day I die. So, yeah, true crime. Yeah, Stony. Yeah, absolutely. I think we need to start, focusing and getting as much information on those two cases as possible, and we will start working on that. So we're getting kind of, down to the end of our show here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. And, we've been talking about a stonework for, summer, stonework for Summer, and putting out a memorial for Summer Wells somewhere, which I haven't reached out to the county. I haven't started working with the county on getting something there, right? But somebody reached out to me and said, what do you think, instead of doing the stonework, what do you think about a memorial bench? And I thought, a bench would seem to have two purposes. It would be a memorial for Summer Wells, as well as something that somebody can actually utilize. And so this might be an option for us as well, is to get a memorial bench And we would want something that's constructed in such a way, even if it costs a little bit more, in such a way that it's durable for the years to come. We don't want something like, in all fairness, I don't want something with, wood and metal that's going to have to constantly be replaced, every few years, due to dry rot, due to sun, due to all this other stuff. We want something that is durable, that'll last 15 years before it really needs any maintenance or anything like that, if possible. We don't know if we can do that. But we do want to make sure that there are options on the table. I think we need to vote as a team as to what we would like done in Summer's honor in Hawkins County, whether it's a park bench, and actually it'd probably most likely go to Sullivan County in all reality, which it's not her home, but it's where she spent most of her time. So we need to work, and that brings me to it. I've been trying to reach out to Hawkins. I need to be reaching out to Sullivan, and we need to find a way to find a location for this park bench or stone memorial. We haven't decided 100% related to what we're going to do. These are all just kind of brainstorming options that we're going to do with Summer's Army, which is the audience that keeps all of us going. And we are going to have a vote on which way we go. But it's not all just about, who comes here to the Bullhorn Betty show and what you guys want. There's a lot of people that other creators that people are very fond of that I need to get with, so we can have a collective response on whether we're going to do a stone memorial or a bench. So there's a lot more people involved in this decision process than just this channel. And we want to make sure everybody's voices that are a part of Summer's Army are heard. So these are just some ideas, but this is something that even, all of us creators are going to just have to try to unite on and find out what the will of our audience and the people that sponsor this kind of initiative really, truly want. So we will be working on that. That's a good idea. A swing for summer. Yeah, there's some. Prom Mama is donating a bench at Warriors, and a tree will be planted also. Okay. All right. So, well, then I would like to, find out from her if she would, this is Summer's Army. There's a lot of people out there. She doesn't have to do it alone. If she'd like to reach out to me, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I'm happy to help in any way that I can help. If they're going to donate a bench and don't want our help, then we'll donate a stone. I would just prefer that people just start working together and uniting for this baby girl when we're all doing all on the right, path. So I'll help also kind of send love it. Yeah, absolutely. I think we just need to get the creators that love Summer Wells and, really do something to honor her for the years to come, because at the end of the day, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, whether you still think she's alive or think she's gone and left this earth, something's happened to her that's been horrific. And she needs to be honored and memorialized for her sacrifice, whatever that sacrifice was. So we can say something too, but heck yeah. Yeah, I want to do something. I think it's important for us to do something. So this is not going away. We've got it on the list. It's just the planning and execution. Planning and execution are key in these types of things. So, and of course, coming up with the funds to be able to do something like this, because you've got, the bench being made, plus you have the artwork that goes onto the bench. There's a lot of moving parts that go with this. Sometimes, one place can do both of them. Sometimes they can't, depending on what your requests are. So we will definitely work on getting something and start reaching out to creators to help with the initiative as well. So many of you guys were wanting to know about this hide and seek game. And so we brought this up. I want to look at some images of it. This is the Hello Neighbor hide and seek. Many of you guys have heard about, and I don't know what it's about, but we've heard some pretty bad stuff related to it, and wonder. So Hello Neighbor hide and seek follows a tragic story of a neighbor's family in this dramatic prequel to Hello Neighbor. Experience playing the game of hide and seek with your brother as you both deal with the loss of a family member. It is a little creepy, to say the least. So I haven't played this game, nor am I eager to play this game. If anybody has seen this game, I'm interested in what it is and what it does. So let's see. The goal is to not get tagged by your brother while putting all the stuffed animals in the cage. So there's still the same elements of trying to solve a puzzle while not getting caught from the base game. A little odd. Hide and seek to be friendly game of hide and seek on the surface. The game is not suitable for children. In fact, it has a teen rating. So not suitable for children. On the surface, hide and seek would be a great tool to strengthen players' problem-solving skills. But the fact the players are being haunted, in a manner of speaking, in each stage makes it a bit too scary for youngsters. So somebody had brought this up yesterday in chat, saying that, they heard that the brothers were playing hide and seek. And then somebody said, well, they keep saying that they were playing video games on the TV the day Summer went missing. What if they were playing hide and seek, the hide and seek game? And so somebody told me it was about, they're murdering, families are murdering each other on this game. This is not a normal run-of-the-mill hide and seek game. And somebody wanted to know if this was the game that they were actually playing. And so they brought this up. I wrote this down. I thought it would be something that we could look into, but it does not sound like, this sounds like a creepy, teenage video game. Definitely not something for little children. And, outside of Josie, there were all little children in that house. So I don't know if they were playing this game. This would have been appropriate. Yes. Oh, I forgot to bring that up. That's right. Miss Cher has a case in her area that I need to look into. So that's 3 cases. I haven't even looked any of them up, outside of just a little bit that we've done. But there's that. Let me pull that up while we're here. But there is a case, and I'm sorry about that. My brain just doesn't work like it once did. Sorry. You think that you get on this. Yeah, and it's a missing child, Courtney Janelle Struble. Courtney Janelle Struble has been missing since 2004, I believe. Yeah, July 9th, 2004. And this is something where we probably need to, this has been so long. I'm surprised. And we don't want Summers to be this. We don't want Summer to be something where she's missing today and we've, 18 years later, we're still looking for her. So, I wish they had social media and this type of social media back with a lot of these cases. And a lot of these cases from way back in the day where cases went on for 20 and 30 years, does that happen this day and age? It does. It does still happen, but not as much because we have such an amazing technology, new resources for law enforcement to use to aid in these types of cases. We have the statistics that we didn't have years ago that are helping aid law enforcement into their timelines, into their strategies, into their protocols, and things of that nature, which have given us a lot more success in finding and locating these types of people and bringing justice a lot quicker than once was allowed because of, there was no DNA back then. The best thing that they had was blood typing and fingerprints. DNA changed a lot of things in the criminal world. for this investigative tool. And it wasn't just at one point when DNA first came out, you needed to have a lot of DNA to test. With even the technology in DNA and forensic science, it's gotten down to a minuscule amount of blood that can be amplified and tested through DNA testing. So and of course, the more you amplify, the results are not as accurate, but they're pretty stinking accurate. And this is, it's the name of the game. You always want newer technology. And even with like health and stuff like that, they come out with new stuff to help us, new drugs, new machines to, where when I had my neck surgery, you had to cut half your neck open to have your neck surgery. Now they just make a little incision. They put stitches under, like I got scarring on my incision spot. Nowadays, they do dissolvable stitches under the skin, and then they use like almost a super glue so you don't have those spots from the stitches around your incision spot. It's just amazing in all aspects of it, from criminology to your own health, the advances in technology that they have. And advances are coming each and every year, making it easier and less difficult. I mean, these cases are going to be difficult as is, but it's making it easier to hone in on certain things in these cases to bring justice a lot sooner than once happened. So, we just sit here. We don't want to be here 18 years later looking for Summer Wells. We believe that, the technology is really helping and aid in these types of cases for law enforcement. And we pray for law enforcement each and every day. So CCTV is a great advancement too. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Matthew. Absolutely. Hands down. Hands down. And then, we still want to go and talk about some other stuff that's going on. Why is it just loading? Let it load. We were talking about this whole ST type of dynamic in Rogersville areas. Again, Jackie Blue sent me some information which is not loading. I apologize for that. It's just not loading. I did have it loaded earlier, and it was going over a case. I believe things happen for a reason, so it's probably one of those things where we weren't supposed to see it today, but I will try again tomorrow to bring it up. And again, it's related to some ST type of things that are going on in and around Hawkins County or Rogersville, Tennessee area that we will get to. Hey, B. Betty fan, hope you're doing well today. So I'm going to just take a few moments. I know we covered a lot. We're on hour 3. I can't believe I talked that long. Lord have mercy. I told you we had a lot to cover today. We had an enormous amount of work to cover today. So I'm going to give me just a few moments. I'm going to go ahead and open up the phone lines for you guys. If you guys have any comments on any of the cases that we covered, how you feel about us, branching off, we're going to still keep covering summer. We're going to still keep covering Summer's Army. But we are going to, what do you guys think about, possibly, branching off, taking Summer's Army and helping other children like Cody Bigsby and like Michael Vaughn. Some people have been covering these cases, but it's not getting widespread attention that it should be getting in these cases. And it's almost heartbreaking. We want to make sure that we are doing a service, not to just one child, but all the children that we can possibly help. We want to be able to help, hands down. So I think it'll be good. Yeah, all in, good. So we just need to make sure that, we keep her name out there. For those that would like to call in, the phone lines are open. Please call in. Let me know your thoughts, and then we'll move on. We'll shut the chat down, and we'll go on with our day. I just want to let everybody know to have a happy Monday. But the phone lines are now open if you would like to call in and speak. And if you guys have another case, whoa, hold up. Before we do the case, there was one other thing that we wanted to go over that I promised somebody that we would go over, and it was Lina. Keel, and that was that beautiful girl that disappeared from. So the last update that we have on her case, and they still call her 3 years old, and I'm telling you, that child looks a heck of a lot older than 3 years old. Let me pull this up. Oops. There we go. So Lana 3 has been stalked, harassed with conspiracy theories and reports. I'm sorry, she looks a little bit bigger than 3, but I digress. I don't know for a fact how old she is, but I do believe Jonathan did go through the social media profile of her parents, and some of those profiles were much older than 3 years back, and she was much smaller. So the family of missing toddler Lena Keel, I may be saying her name wrong, and I apologize about that, is being stalked and harassed with conspiracy theories during public search parties, according to local reports. Keel was abducted in December when she was 3 years old while she was at a playground at the 9400 block of Fredericksburg Road with her mother, according to the Texas Department of Public Safety and Austin San Antonio Police Department. Pam Allen, CEO of Eagles Flight Advocacy and Outreach, visit Keel's parents every week, according to KENS TV. We have people that are stalking us, that go on these searches, that film us, take pictures of us, and come up with different stories. Allen told the outlet when explained why Arias and Samina Keel are no longer holding search parties with volunteers. We just don't want to do those types of searches anymore. Online keyboard warriors are pointing to Lena's parents as suspects, Allen said. Things directed at them because they're Afghani and because they're Muslim. I don't necessarily believe it's due to their nationality or where they're from. I don't believe that. This case doesn't make sense. I can tell you that. We stepped away from it a little bit because, again, it is a tricky case, but I truly don't believe it has anything to do with the fact that they're Muslim or from Afghanistan or Afghani, whatever they want to call it. I don't believe that. I don't believe that because people aren't that low. It doesn't matter. I could care less where you came from or where you go or who you are, what religion you are. I could care less. It's about finding answers for a child. There's a reason why they're pointing the fingers at the parents. And it probably has to do with the fact that what the story that they're saying may not be making sense. I don't know. I'm just playing devil. I have not looked into this case far enough to make any statement, any speculative statement on my own behalf related to this case. I'm just speculating on why somebody did that. I don't believe people are that low that they're going to say, oh, they're Muslim, they must have done it. I just don't see people doing that. So I just feel that there's something else there. So that's harsh, Allen explained. Assisted our military forces when we were in Afghan. We brought him over here to make sure his family was safe, and then this happens. The couple is now expecting a new baby, but are struggling to cope with the simultaneous feelings of excitement and anxiety over their missing 3-year-old child. Life should always be celebrated, but it's just so hard for them to celebrate anything when Lana's missing. Keel previously told the outlet through a translator that his wife was watching their daughter on the playground, but that the child wandered into a nearby path and disappeared. Lena was about 4 feet tall and weighed 55 pounds. See, that's just almost too tall and too big for a 3-year-old. I'm sorry that I have to believe that child was a little bit older, which I think is part of the problem in why people are having an issue with this, because the height and weight chart just seems to be off. I could be wrong. I haven't looked into this very well, but she was 4 feet tall, 55 pounds, and was last seen wearing a red dress, black jacket, and black shoes. That seems like an odd thing to be wearing to go to a playground in. Just some things that I'm just saying off the top of my head that when you usually go to a playground, you're usually not going to a playground in a dress. because you're thinking of sand, dirt, you don't want to ruin the dress. Okay. Bye, Cher. Take care. Bye, guys. There was a 19-minute window when she was off camera and didn't come back. That's when they started looking. She also had a 2-year-old little brother. He may have maybe 3 by now. Lots of groups online, from what Connie says. Yeah. I don't know. I just, maybe kids go to playgrounds in dresses, but it's not, when I got the grandkids ready to go to the playground, I always changed them into shorts or pants, and definitely didn't get the nicer stuff on them. I put them in play clothes. That's what we have. We have, play clothes that were nice clothes at one time that are, stained or, have dirt on them, not dirt like they haven't been washed dirt, but stained dirt, ketchup and all kinds of stuff. If they painted in something and they got paint marks on the white and you just couldn't get them bleached out, those went in the play clothes pile, right? And I always changed them out so they could go play, but they never got their clothes dirty. So to hear that she was in a beautiful dress at a playground, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I got to look into the case a little more, but 55 pounds, that's awfully big for a 3-year-old child. 55 pounds. That's a pretty big child. So, hey, Shiran, hope you're doing well. So those are the cases that I think needed to be touched on today. Again, the phone lines are open for whoever would like to call in. If you guys have anything. Otherwise, I'm just going to give it probably just a few more moments. If I don't get any call-ins, I'm going to go ahead and shut the program off. You have to understand Muslim culture. That's all the little girls wear our dresses. Very seldom do you see them in a nice pair of stretch pants. Whatever that. Okay, gotcha. That maybe. I don't mean to sound horrible, but I believe we need to concentrate more on prevention rather than after the child disappears. Yes, I agree. Matthew. Hands down. I absolutely agree with you. I really do. Prevention is worth a pound of cure. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. I absolutely believe that. But in some of these cases, people aren't involved. People don't really get involved until after the child's missing. Nobody really even knows that the child's struggling. Even like, for example, Summer, everybody in and around thought that was okay to live like that. Never called it in as child abuse. Never called it in as, endangerment. It's sad. The difference is, had I saw that, I would have called that in immediately. Karen is real. I think you need to read the comment above you. I do not get into political topics on this channel, and nor will I ever, because that divides people, and we need people united on here for these babies. And I don't really care what anybody's political standing is on this channel. Absolutely do not. Because if they're here for the good of these children, and they are here to help these children, that's all that's required. And what you're trying to do is have a wedge issue on my channel, which is very disrespectful. And I denounce, quite frankly. And if you don't like my answer, again, I'm not begging for you to be here. Just saying, with all due respect. Yeah, Stephanie, it's possible. It is possible. So, all right, guys. Well, listen, the phones are not ringing today. I probably should have opened the phones up early on because I know, 3 hours in, it starts getting a little sticky. So I'm going to let you guys go for today. We'll try to open the phone lines up. If somebody can remind me tomorrow to open the phone lines up a little sooner, I'd greatly appreciate it. Karen, again, I understand what you're trying to say, but we do not bring. This is not a political channel. We do not talk. The only time we talk about political topics is how we can help change the Department of Children and Family Services and how to change child welfare laws and who we need to talk to about those things. Anything that is ultra political and a wedge issue, we do not get on here because This is about the victims and the victim's family. We don't need to have wedge issues between our united front on helping children and helping victims of crime. So I'll call in tomorrow. Okay, that'll be nice. That'll be nice. Oh, and I'll have to reach out to you. I mean, I'm exhausted already today. This has taken a lot of. I have not gotten back in the swing of things since I've been back here. Since I have been back to Florida this time, I just usually I only need a day of rest and I'm good. But like yesterday, I was tuckered. Today, I'm still tuckered. I'm just tuckered. I don't know how to explain it. This has taken a lot out of me. So it's just, thank you. So with that, guys, God bless each and every one of you. Guys, go rock out your Manic Monday, and don't forget to be fearless. We will be back here tomorrow with Coffee Club, so please come and join us. We love each and every one of you. We've got a lot of brainstorming to do. We've got a lot of cases to go over. We got updates on different missing children, as well as Summer Wells. We're going to keep pumping out some content that we got from Rogersville, Tennessee. So don't forget to keep coming back here. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this channel. And we're going to be doing some great things here. So God bless each and every one of you. Go make it a great day.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.